inks and does not have a turn 1 play. Now, with these control decks, it can get grindy. The turn 1, maybe not the most important. It's not like Fungus is playing some kind of aggro deck where that would be a huge deal. But now Sky gonna ramp, I'm assuming. Tipo coming down. We're going to have the ink exerted because there is no other character on Fungus's side of the board. Clarabelle can quest freely here.
Absolutely. So we've got the first ramp. So we're going to have that a lot in this matchup. And everyone at home, maybe get a little comfy. Go ahead, make a little hot beverage. We're going to have, it's not best of 3, it's best of 5. And I don't know how to tell you this, guys, but this is a control mirror match. And this is the controlliest of the control build. So they are saying the party started. We both have our T, but we both ramped. And buckle up because, yeah, we have Lindlore, but we have a lot more to go.
This turn is the turn that we would typically want to drop down the 4-cost Cinderella Dreams Come True. I'm assuming because Sky is hesitating a little bit that maybe he doesn't have it. The Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, is going to go into the Inkwell here.
Yeah, and that would be devastating if he doesn't. Okay, they're giggling because, my goodness, they know they're each other's deck. Like I said, they've been very chummy this whole weekend. But like you said, that Cinderella Dream Come True, this is a card that Sky early said, this card is so powerful, guys. Wake up, look at it. Because she does that double ramp. In this case, she cannot double ramp if she is not played. So he says, I'm going to ink. That's step 1. What's step 2? He does pause.
Sky really thinking this over.
Yeah, he's saying, do I want to engage and just get a quest out of this Tipo? And he says, okay, that's all I can do right now. Don't worry, don't worry. I missed 1 ramp, but don't worry. You can maybe ramp on 3.
Yeah, not the turn that you want to see, but Fungus also starting off a little bit slow here. I do see the Cinderella Dream Come True in hand, so Fungus will get into the ink lead. However, the fact that this Clarabelle has stayed upright, we did not exert the Clarabelle. We didn't want to get the extra lore, even though there was really nothing that we could do about it. Makes me think that Sky is going for the shift Clarabelle line, light on her hooves, so that he can empty out his hand and then draw all of the cards that we were talking about, right? At the end of his turn, be able to draw cards into the same amount that Fungus has. I'm seeing a Clarabelle in Fungus's hand too, though, so this could get a little bit tricky and a little bit awkward.
Yeah, I mean, that light on her hoofs lets you go ahead and say, well, cards in hand is 4. Very funny, there's a hand on the hand marker, but it behooves him to make sure he gets some cards, because if he's not ramping, then you can do a ramp later in the game. He does go ahead and say, I'm going to ink Celia, say, wait, that's ramping. So we're looking at it one more time.
Maybe, maybe not.
He says, is that a take back if I just go ahead and don't ink it, possibly? Take back policy, like we talked about, it is about what did you learn? If you put a card down and you say, I'd like to pick it back up, did you learn anything from that? And the answer is no. So the judge says, our lore guide.
Lore guide, I know. We're all learning it, Katie. Head lore guide Phil there saying, yeah, shrugging his shoulders, saying, yeah.
But double checking. And so now he's like, okay, well, I don't know if I can ink here, but it's a very tricky situation because you need to ink and he needs to draw cards soon. So he's just prioritizing. I have to forge a path forward. I can't do it all. So here we go.
Ooh, yeah, you don't want to ink that Basil, but the Clarabelle is coming down. The You're Welcome is being sung onto the Cinderella. Not exactly the target you want to see, but 2 cards going to go into Fungus's hand here.
Yes, and those 2 cards, though, it's so tricky because Sky is saying, I need to draw cards. Fungus is like, I really like drawing cards too. So that's one of the things in control decks that can be really hard, especially if you're ramping twice. You are using a ton of resources early and you're hoping you'll draw cards later. And like you said, you saw Clarabelle. We don't have the shift line currently, but it's just one of those things. More cards is more cards. But what are you seeing here?
Look at how many cards Sky is taking into his hand. What he doesn't know is that Fungus actually has this Clarabelle shift line, which means that typically you'd have to play Clarabelle on either a Clarabelle that was already there or pay the 7, but you can pay this and then shift the Clarabelle right up and get the full max value. And now he says, I'm going to empty out my hand as much as possible. Now I get as many cards as you have. A true mirror match. Clarabelle and Tipo against Clarabelle and Tipo.
Yes, it is truly a child and a cow pointing at each other and doing the little meme here and being like, what? That is such a great idea. Now, notably, one of these Clarabelles is upright, but now they're both upright. So, Yeah, I mean, that's one of the fascinating things about what you need Clarabelle to do is you're like, well, we've seen it all day, or for the past 2 days, where this Your Welcome is used to do some devious deeds. They sometimes pair with Bend to Your Will, but there's no bend to My Will, rather. And so basically, it's not going to get punished, that greed. So now both players have access to do a lot of fun things. Like I said, Sky can still do a little ramp here if he has the extra ink. The only thing is that invests cards and it invests time. But if you think he has the time to do it, it's better to do it now than later and get access to all the good cards. And by the good cards, I'm looking at that John Silver, I'm looking at the Prince Philip, and those kind of top end. Notably, no Hades. That's one thing I talked about. I said, Sky, we had a chance to talk to some of these players beforehand. I said, why no Hades? And he said, there's a lot of unequals in the deck. You can't have them all.
You really can't, and that Basil being put into the inkwell is something that Sky might regret later. I understand, though, because you do kind of want to take a turn here. Now that you have this many cards, now that Clarabelle is staring at Clarabelle, the Clarabelle stare, if you will, Sky is going to be able to double, triple ramp if he wants to here, because if he had, I see the one Sell the Azurite Sea that he kept. I'm seeing another 2 Develop Your Brains. It's a little hard to make out the other cards, but Sky will have the option here to kind of play catch-up. He is behind on ink, even though he was the one on the play, because Fungus did have that Cinderella dream come true, and now it's a battle of who is going to control this middle game. We have now entered the middle game, and Sky says, you want to do Shift Clarabelle light on her hooves in 1 turn with 6 ink? I want to do the same thing. Now, even if you take out one of Sky's Clarabelles, you're still going to be getting all of the same effects of the Clarabelle light on her hooves.
Exactly, and so now we have what is officially called a stampede, and that Tipo is putting in work. Congratulations to him. He is known for coming into play, doing what it says on the label, and then possibly not doing much else, but he has been able to get in a nice, clean 4 lore, just going and keeping questing here. And as we've seen, now we have 2 Clarabelles. Like you said, it makes it where you got that protection. They're going to keep drawing cards, and this game is going to go along, and there we go. We are going to ink and see what is Fungus going to do. We're going to get a Clarabelle.
It's kind of genius. I was thinking about the Basil, the undercover detective here, and that's why I think Sky did it, was because, oh no! He had You're Welcome as well! He was able to...
Yeah.
He was able to put both of the Clarabelles out of Sky's reach!
That is devastating because, like we see, Your Welcome is the sarcastic Your Welcome we know and love from Maui, because he's saying, guess what? You know how you play 2? I'm going to get rid of both of them cleanly and efficiently. That Your Welcome is a song. And like we said with that Basil, it's just this pain incarnate, because he's got 3 cards from that and went ahead and wiped his board, except for Tipo.
Sky expertly played around the Basil undercover detective. For those of you who are wondering, why do you need 2 Clarabelles? You don't really need it. I think Sky smartly assumed, well, he's getting to 7 ink. I know that he's playing the Basil, so I want to play around it, but that You're Welcome throws a wrench into Sky's plan, and now we're kind of starting from square one again. How do we come back in this game? We are going to be able to get a Clarabelle down, but now we're losing on board, because the Basil is going to be able to, whenever he quests chosen opponent, discards a card at random, and guess what? There's only one opponent, and it's Sky.
Yeah, I choose you, and Sky at this point has a few decisions to make, because ultimately there's 2 lines of play. We've seen Clarabelle quite a lot, but there's this other line that is very powerful. It is the Prince Philip. So that Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, he is one of the 2-piece combo where you have Malicious, Mean, and Scary, and then you have your Prince Philip. Now, it's a little bit of a problem because we need possibly a little of Prince Philip, and also Sky's kind of having an ink issue here. So it's kind of like that's now maybe a move, because we're going to see Fungus probably go wider. But man, look at Fungus's hand size right now. I kind of ignored it, but because it was so large, but that is a lot of things. So Sky basically has
10 cards.
Yeah, so Sky can basically stabilize. He can hope to get to some kind of control move where he can go ahead and wipe the board. But you can see him thinking here, because ultimately that was a devastating move. Fungus has a lot of answers on the other side. So he is double ramping. He says, better late than never.
Sail the Azurite Sea, 2 of them coming down. When I was talking about triple ramping, this is what I was talking about. Sky now has the ability. He's drawn twice off the Sail the Azurite Seas. He can now ink 3 cards into the inkwell this turn. Fungus is only on 7 ink. Sky is behind on 6, but now Sky is going to be able to shoot up to 9. I assume it's because we do have the Prince Philip combo in hand, and if Sky, what I think Sky's going to do here is ink, 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 play out the Prince Philip. There's nothing that Fungus can really do about it unless Fungus has the exact combo that you described, right? Because of the ward, he won't be able to choose it for anything, and then that will represent a scary, a scary ability to sing Malicious, Mean, and Scary and wipe all of Fungus's characters off the board next turn by ramping.
Yeah, and I mean, I imagine Sky is thinking that in a much more, okay, I just got to get through this. Because, like you said, that Prince Philip, we have two. We have the shift package. Like you mentioned, he has that ward, so he can't be targeted. So your welcome is gone. But then, like you mentioned, if he did happen to pull off that Malicious, Mean, and Scary combo, then that could be lights out. So it's kind of one of those things where you're right. I mean, he has to play around the very, very scary thing that he would be able to punish him back. But instead he says, I have Cinderella. Look at her. She's right here. She showed up late, but the ball is still here.
Quadruple ramp, because at the end of the turn, Dream Come True has the effect whatever you wish for. Sky is going to be able to put 4 cards into the Inkwell in 1 turn, and he says, okay, maybe I lose a little bit of lore here. It's only 5 lore. You're only going to get up to 7, but I can equalize if I have the resources in the form of ink.
Exactly. So he is playing, like I've said many times today in these control mirrors, it is a marathon and not a sprint. So he is saying, I'm going to invest in just being patient. These look at it. We're at 2 to 5. It is not game over. So he is going to go ahead. That's Cindy, like we've mentioned several times. She is a princess and she triggers herself. So you are able to go ahead and ink and draw a card. And so this has been an explosive ink turn. We said, hey, you missed your ramp. He said, no, I'm just going to ramp 500 times later.
Sky putting 4 cards into the Inkwell will shoot him up to 10 ink, I believe. We also established this Cinderella, which can also sing Malicious, Mean, and Scary. So that is something that Fungus is going to have to look out for. Sky, meanwhile, does not have the Clarabelle down yet, but is playing the patient game. Fungus might have 11 cards in hand, but this could go either way at any moment, especially when we have the knowledge that both players are playing 1 copy of Bend to My Will, which will take out the entirety of your opponent's hand.
Oh my goodness, I realize it's alphabetical, so when I was looking at those, I'm like, there's no bend. But you're right, there's 1 in each. But it's such a funny thing because these players have to find it. They don't have any way to go look for it. But there we go.
Improvise so that we can take out one of the T-Pos with your own T-Po.
My goodness, those T-Pos are doing battle they're questing. And honestly, that T-Po has done a lot of, you got to get rid of him. So there we go. We improvise and you get to draw a card because Fungus doesn't have enough, quite frankly.
Right. Fungus might be planning to do a similar play line, try and catch up on some ink. We'll see what he does, though. You're welcome. Gets thrown back, and now, oh, the Clarabelle. We wanted to avoid the Clarabelle shift line. Now, some people might go, well, Cinderella, she's the singer. She can actually sing the Malicious, Mean, and Scary. There might be other things, but that Clarabelle coming down and refilling Sky's entire hand would be dastardly. So Sky says, I'm not going to, or Fungus says, I'm not going to let you do it, buddy.
Not in my house. This is Fungus's house now. Now, that being said, we do have that Basil who will, when you go ahead and quest with him, you can... What? My goodness. My goodness.
To my will.
Oh, Fungus.
The entirety of Sky's board and hand was cleared in 1 turn, and now Sky with 0 cards in hand. Is there any way to come back? I mean, you got to play it out. It's the finals. We have all the time in the world. There's no reason to not play it out. Let's see what Sky elects to do here. It looks like it's a nice, sizable character here. It is the Basil. We will punch back the Clarabelle. But, oh man, but Fungus, how many cards does he have in hand?
I would say upwards of 500. I mean, look at that shuffle. He's kind of just reading through all of them. And so he's kind of just saying, of my deck list, which card would I like to play next? Now, Sky can technically, I mean, if he top decks a Clarabelle, that would be quite nice because there's ways back in. And that's why these matches are so swingy. We're like, there's no way back. Sometimes there's a way back. It is kind of tricky, though, because, I mean, Fungus definitely has the upper hand here with the lore total, board total, ink total, hand total. He's kind of really got it all here. And then a T-Po for good measure because he's like, well, let's go wider.
And Fungus smartly realizing the exact thing you just said, Katie. If Sky were to have top-decked a Clarabelle Light on her hooves instead, he would be right back in this game. He would have been able to draw all of the cards that Fungus had. But now that Fungus realizes that a Clarabelle could put him back, Fungus is trying to dump out his whole hand, playing down a T-Po, inking additionally. And now, Improvise is not the card you want to see, but Sky has a ton of ink, so he can burn a little ink here. Is it Cinderella? No, Donald Duck.
Yeah, and you know, that card is kind of fun in the mid-game. Right now, a little not fun. He's a perfect gentleman, but he's not really perfect for getting out of the situation because these control decks have two phases. They have the control phase, then the I'm done controlling, I'm just going to win phase. And so Fungus is getting to the point where he's like, okay, I can start questing here. He doesn't have like a ton of lore presence on board. I mean, we're looking at a total of 7, if I'm counting correctly. And so the time clock is not huge, but he doesn't have a ton of answers. He just gave Reckless to that Basil. So now Basil can't even do the discard thing, although Fungus has enough cards where he's not too scared. But still, it's just everything this guy wants to do. Fungus is actually, and this card here says you can't.
This Donald Duck actually is going to be a little bit of an issue. I know it's only one additional card, but when the cards are as powerful as this, you want to Mother Knows Best, and that's why it is sung here. And then, or no, it was played and then quested with the Basil to discard the Donald Duck from hand. Fungus in a chokehold position. I don't know if there's any way for Sky to come back unless he exactly tops Clarabelle light on her hooves.
And Fungus says, this card? And that is absolutely unnecessary. It is necessary because honestly, he just wants to keep building his board. But so many times in these matchups, we say, well, which player had it? And my goodness, over and over, we've been saying Fungus had it. Fungus had it. Fungus had it again. And so Sky says, all right, let's go. Let's go on a vision.
Ooh, Visions of the Future, not a bad card either. You get to dig 5 cards deep. If one of them is Clarabelle, none of them are Clarabelle. You find your bend to your will. You find the bend to my will at a time when you don't really want it because the cards in hand of Fungus does not really matter that much, and now you know that that card is going to be at the bottom of your deck, one of the cards that would allow you to come back into this game if you were able to establish a wide board. Develop Your Brain is being played here, and we are looking for any way to get back into this game, and Prince Philip, Royal Explorer, along with a John Silver, Alien Pirate, is not it. Sky sees the writing on the wall. We might have all the time in the world, but he knows when it's over. He is a professional. And look at the stone cold look of focus on Sky's face right now. He is in this. Fungus too. What a finals here.
Yeah, now for those tuning in, this is a best of 5. And it's important to note that Sky went first. Which generally you say, well, the player that goes first is favored. But what that shows, this is a mirror match, which means technically now either player could win going first. Like, I mean, that basically shows me that it is possible to win when you're going second, rather. So Sky, when he gets to the point that he's going second, because I mean, he might technically. I mean, if Fungus keeps winning, but long story short, Sky has been shown that listen, it comes to a point where I need to win on the draw. I can do it because Fungus did it.
Absolutely. We will throw it to a slide here. We're going to take a look at a little new information. For those of you who don't know, our judges are now called lore guides, and we have a core document and lore guide for you to view if you would like to. Please visit our resources page. It's right there on the screen. Just follow the QR code. You will find it. Arthur looks interested, doesn't he?
He does. He's like, I would like to develop my brain and develop it. That's a lot of books to read. But the lore guide is much shorter than that, I can promise you.
I want to learn the rules of Disney Lorcana.
Yes. He has finished learning how to read, and he is ready, and maybe he'll join the lore guide program.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you something. I did not just have a small child in here. That was me.
It was. I wanted to kind of keep the magic alive.
That was me doing an impression of Arthur, a very good one, if I may say so.
It was. I looked away, and I was like, okay, so
you were like, where's the little boy? No.
It was him the whole time. And that's the magic of Disney and Disney Lorcana. You never know what characters are going to show up. But man, that game, that was... Sometimes we say these matches are really swingy, and I feel like Fungus took the swing and held it back. But oh my, sorry, I can't. What is on the screen?
Let's talk about the stakes.
Yes, what are the stakes here?
Because this is the finals of the Richmond DLC Disney Lorcana Challenge. That trophy you just saw is what these players are playing for, as well as the bragging rights of being the champion of Richmond.
Yeah, and I mean, you will be in quite the peer group. We have seen Frank Carson took home the Disney Lorcana Challenge Milwaukee Championship. So, I mean, you would be in some really high esteemed colleagues there. So these players, they want to win for a lot of reasons, but it's not over. Fungus won one game, but Sky obviously has been playing this control deck for 2 straight days, and he's like, listen, you know, sometimes control decks you don't always win, but maybe I can be the control deck now, and instead of a not one-way match, we can have a little back and forth this time.
I know Sky a little bit because I took some lessons from him. Last set, he was on a lot of the Amber Steel aggro, found a lot of success doing that. Actually qualified for North American Championships. It one of the CCQs.
Yes, the first one.
A brilliant performance. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal to watch. What do you know about Fungus?
I know that this is a player that, like I said, he's very passionate about this deck. He played it to great success. We've seen him in many, many top 8. So he's somebody that believes in this deck. And that's why I love both these players, because what these players are is they're the kind of people that say, I like this game, and this is what I think you should do. And that is one of the things that's so cool about players is sometimes they play because they want to win, but sometimes they say, I want to also teach the community how to win. And both these players are that kind of player where they both have videos or coaching or they're out there and they're saying, I want to make everyone else good too. And I think that's so fun to see because they just want to make everything better.
They give back to the community.
Exactly. They make us, me and Brent here, we are better because of people like Fungus and Sky saying, here, let me show you how to use these cards.
Absolutely. I've had a little bit of interaction with Fungus, but not that much. Develop Your Brain is going to come down here. Sky's going to look 2 cards deep, choose one, put it into the hand, choose the other, put it on the bottom of the deck. Fungus, again, misses turn 1 here.
Yeah, and like we see, I mean, these are little moments. It's kind of interesting because sometimes these early turns, like, I don't know, they're doing some stuff. It's not that. The fun stuff is later. But this is the foundation. That Ultra that we saw, incredibly important because we're trying to make sure we get that turn 2 ramp. Sky is delicately holding that growing sun here and saying, shall I deploy? What shall I do here? But I mean, there's just moments where it's like, okay, what is in your opening hand? Do I have ramp 1? Do I have ramp 2? And do I have things to deal with my opponent before they can start getting out of control, for lack of a better word?
Right. Tipo is going to hit the inkwell. I believe I saw another Tipo in hand here. Unfortunate that we are on the play and we didn't find the Sail the Azurite Sea. You usually want to have that extra card in hand that you're able to draw, but this is still going to work out fine here, and especially if Fungus misses ramp, that's going to be huge. But let's take a look at the decision-making process here. I'm seeing the Cinderella also, one of the cards that Sky didn't have last game, but got kind of punished for, was a little bit on the back foot for the entirety of the game.
Yeah, and it looks like he might have at least two there.
Oh.
Which is very funny that he didn't have it last time, and this time he's like, I get 2.
No, I got too many.
Yeah, and the very cool thing, though, is that 2 Cinderellas, you get the double effect, because suddenly, or rather, the Cinderella, the next one.
Oh, there's 3 in Fungus's hand.
Wait, so it's just Cinderellas everywhere. So
Cinderella
the ball
City.
is only Cinderella.
Oh, and Tipo is going to come down. I got to imagine we're inking one of the Cinderellas, right?
I mean,
right?
you got
Fungus
a lot,
shaking his
guys.
head.
Don't get greedy, okay? We're allowed to use 1 as ink. I mean, my goodness. But as we know, this Cinderella was one of the cards that came in, and people said, this is good. And the reason is because no matter what happens, there's a princess in play. So if you do it again, then next turn, guess what? There's also a princess in play, even if for some reason the first one was removed, because she is the princess herself. So now we get to see her arrive to the ball, and Fungus is like, don't worry, I'm coming to the ball too. So I really love that we really are getting to see the mirror here, because here we go, and we're going into turn 4. Will she arrive?
I think Sky just drew into that. Will she arrive? I believe Cinderella is on her way to the ball right now. I thought I saw Donald Duck. Oh, Donald Duck, Perfect Gentleman. Maybe a card that I definitely was not expecting that, but maybe Sky is saying, I have too many good cards in hand. I want to draw a few extra cards here. You were talking about getting greedy. This might be the kind of greedy play that might come back to bite Sky, but hopefully Fungus doesn't find every single thing like he did last game. I mean, both of these players absolutely phenomenal at the craft of playing Disney Lorcana. We'll see what Sky does. He elects to go the Cinderella route. Do we ink the other Cinderella is a question I always have.
Yeah, how many do you need? And as we've seen, double ramp good, triple ramp very good, because you're just trying to outclass your opponent, get to the good stuff faster. In this case, that Donald Duck does enable you to get some more cards here. If we do get to a Clarabelle, Fungus having cards in hand isn't the worst. So it is very interesting. I was so like, oh, obviously we're going to get that Cinderella out here. But he's like, wow, I want some more cards. Let's get some more cards, because that Cinderella... It's interesting because people say, well, you don't really get to draw a card because you're inking a card. But what it does is it preserves your hand size. It kind of makes it where you're net okay.
You get to ink for free.
Yeah, basically. You're getting that, but you get to recover by then drawing.
The problem is, though, if you have too many good cards in hand, I understand fully why Sky elected to play the Donald Duck Perfect Gentleman instead, saying, these are a lot of good cards. Maybe I don't want to ink any of these. Let me get a couple cards in my hand and then play out the Cinderella Dream Come True, which hits the board here. No surprise. And a Clarabelle to boot here, setting up the shift line for next turn.
Yeah, I mean, she got invited to the ball, and then Clarabelle comes stumbling on in. This Clarabelle we've seen a lot today because she is, like we said, this deck has two pillars, that Clarabelle. So now we have a couple things on board that Fungus is saying, okay, I have to deal with a lot of different things here, and he doesn't have any shift target. So things are definitely looking the skies are a little brighter on Sky's side this time.
There's that classic Katie humor we all know, we all love. I think the perfect line for Fungus here is if he has both the Clumsy Guest, one-cost Clarabelle, as well as the shift line Clarabelle, he'd be able to play that down on the next turn for 6, sing your welcome with the Cinderella onto maybe either the Donald Duck or the Cinderella, put 2 cards into Sky's hand, empty out his hand, and then draw up to 4. But does he have it? That's the question. If he has all of that, that would be incredible. That's one of the classic lines of this color combination.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of scares me because I'm like, does he have it? I was like, well, if we look at last time and we're using that as a data point, the answer is yeah, he has it all. But there we go. We're going to do our end of our turn. We go that inking. We draw a card at the end. And then we say, okay, what do you have over there? Now, notably, that Cinderella, she can sing, you're welcome, if she wants to.
I closed my eyes. I thought, is Cinderella here?
Come true. But here we go. So she is a singer, so we have some options, but I mean, without that Clarabelle, you're welcome is not so fun because it's just saying, hey, Sky, do you want more answers? So instead, he's going to go ahead and ink that Donald Duck Perfect Gentleman and then deploy.
Oh, the double Cinderella, which means that at the end of his turn, he will be able to activate the effect twice. He will be able to put a card into his inkwell, draw a card, and then put another card into his inkwell because both of these Cinderellas, they see each other.
They see each other and say, I like what you're up to. I love your dress. And so, yeah, I mean, this is why this card was deeply beloved by both these players. And I kind of love to see the payoff, right? It's so exciting that somebody says, I like this and I think it's good. And they're like, no, it's really good. And here they're at the final saying, I told you it was good. And that's why, because like the Cinderella, she's coming in and she's got a pretty healthy stat line. She's 2-3, but I mean, she's already done some pretty helpful things by just being there. So Fungus doesn't have the most explosive turn in the world. We do have that Donald Duck where you get to draw 2 cards, but your opponent can draw an extra card.
And now Sky has the exact same opportunity here. I can't see either of the players' cards very clearly, but if Sky has the shift line to be able to shift that Clarabelle and then sing the You're Welcome onto one of these Cinderellas, that would be a devastating turn.
Yes. So now it is the answer. Do you have it? And like you said, it's so funny because you'll see, if you guys, you can't see us casting, but we are craning our necks. Sometimes I'm trying to look, I'm like, I can get around that lore count. I can see it. But you can't. So basically we can only see that they're thinking. Shout out to Fungus and Sky for having the most stone faces we've seen today. My goodness, they're
focused.
They are laser focused. And I would have to be too, because this is not one of the most comfortable decks to pilot. This was not the most popular deck in the room. And I have to think it is because some of these control decks, they can be a little not fun to play because it's a lot of like, okay, what's the right line here? Do I want to go Philip? Do I want to go Clarabelle? What do I do in the mid game? What do I do if I can't ramp? And how do you manage your ink and your resources? And so he has 4 cards in hand. He wants to get as much advantage as possible. He would like to go ahead and take advantage of getting rid of some cards, getting that Clarabelle drawing, but it doesn't look like he's doing anything that fast, which makes me believe that it's just not exactly what he wants, and he's just trying to make sure he's doing the smartest thing.
Look at the concentration on both these players' faces. If this was an anime, there would be electricity crackling between their faces right now. They are thinking so hard. Depot is going to quest here.
Okay.
Your welcome is going to be sung onto the Depot. Sky is saying, that's not a good thing, though, because Sky is saying, I don't have the cards that I want. I need to find some cards. Let me dig. Let me put my own Depot into the deck so I can draw 2 fresh new cards. And I'm telling you right now, Katie, if Sky sees 2 Depots, double Depots off the top of this deck, I'm going to go wild because that is not what you want to see right now.
Yeah, 2 Tipo. We're calling out Tipo, but there's like a few things that he probably is like, okay, well, that's not what I was going for. But in the words of Mama Odie, you got to dig a little deeper. Just try to find the bigger stuff, because that's really all this deck is doing is say, I'm surviving, I'm maxing my resources, and then I get to all the powerful punishing stuff at the top. What are those 2 cards?
question is, does Sky have the Clarabelle shift line? I assume not, because if he did, I think he would have slammed it down as hard as possible, as quickly as possible. Visions of the future coming down.
A little bit further, because we've had 2 cards. So what about 5 cards where we could keep one?
Notably, we are at 4 ink, so we would be able to. The quickness of that tells me I think that is the Clarabelle shift line. We will be able to ink a card, then shift the Clarabelle on. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but Sky picked that card mighty quick here.
It was very, very decisive. Could mean the other 4 are really bad.
The alternative, right?
Yeah, right. One
it's
was really
4
good.
T-pos.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Oh, there we go. 1 T-po down.
The Clarabelle shift line. There it is. Light on her hooves comes down. Sky is now going to be in how fast can I dump my hand so that I can have as many cards as you have mode. But I don't think he's going to be able to get the full value unless he has a You're Welcome that he can sing with the Clarabelle. The problem is, if you sing it with the Clarabelle, you leave your Clarabelle exerted, and your the Clarabelle on Fungus's side would be able to challenge in with that, even just that T-po, and take out the Clarabelle, and we'd be in this sort of awkward position. Let's see, though.
Yeah, we saw him invest so much time and resources to shifting that Clarabelle that I have to think he wants to protect her.
Mother knows best.
Yeah, what does Mother know? Because Mother knows best, and she knows, of these 4, which one to bounce. The Clarabelle can shift.
I think.
Yes,
right.
yeah, right. One of these 4 can shift into something that's a problem.
You called it.
So he says.
You said the Clarabelle can shift, and then as soon as you did, Sky went and pointed at it.
T-po hasn't been. Floodborn T-po when, but before then, we're going to go ahead and let that little growing sun keep on growing. So now we have what I call cards that already did the cool thing and are not doing so many cool things anymore. They basically, T-po doesn't. He can do some fun things, right? He can place damage and make it where you can Prince Philip, and it's a little bit more effective. So we have some options on Fungus's side, but instead he says, let's try again. I'll go ahead and get the little 1-drop, and there we go. I'm going to try it. I like what you did over there.
It's the Clarabelle Starabelle, the classic of these Emerald Sapphire matches. And the You're Welcome. Fungus has a You're Welcome in his hand, and he has another You're Welcome in his hand. He's going to be able to remove most of Sky's board here. The other card is You're Welcome. Is that Cinderella going to sing it? I got to imagine. I mean, he showed it and flashed it to Sky. Look at Sky's face, though. This is the magic. Right here, Katie. This is the magic of Disney Lorcana. In what other card game would all of this be on the line and both of the players are friends, they're smiling at each other, they're having a good time? If I was just looking at the body language, the faces of that moment just now, I would think these 2 guys were playing on a coffee table at home.
Yeah, I mean, even at my coffee table, I'd probably be a little sour about what's happening. But no, I mean, these 2 players respect each other. Because ultimately, they love what they're doing, they love their craft, and they are saying, listen, when you have it, and you... Fungus you have it.
He didn't just have it, he had it twice. The You're Welcome and the 2 singers with the Cinderella. Dreams Come True is going to clear the whole board. Put so many cards into Sky's hand that now that the Clarabelle is down on the field of Fungus's side, he will be able to draw, I don't know, 9 cards?
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9 cards? I didn't even mean to do that.
9,
that was
10,
wrong.
maybe 11. But no, I mean, that's where it feels like. It gets to the point where sometimes I look at my opponent's hand and I look at their ink and I'm like, what is that, 5 million? Because it gets to the point where it can feel kind of overwhelming.
6,
yeah, you're counting. You're saying
7, 8, 9. Is that all? Just 9 cards? Oh, just 2 more cards than we start with.
That is an overgrowth of Fungus on this side. He absolutely, he listen, I've talked to him. He's really nice, but he is not playing like a nice guy. He says, I'm not here to make friends, but he looks like he made a friend because guy is still going. That's
Look at these guys smiling. You got to respect the sportsmanship here. And here it is, Katie. Here it is all laid out on the floor. Sky does have a way back into this game. If he is able to pull off the malicious, mean, and scary Prince Philip combo, wipe the entire board of Fungus, and then maybe follow it up with a bend to my will, he could be right back into this game. It's going to be tough, though, because we are only at 7 ink. It costs 9 to play down the Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, but Sky got a full grip of cards. He might be able to make something happen, and I did see the Royal Explorer, the 3-cost Prince Philip, in his hand. He will be able to set up this shift line, but not before playing Sail the Azurite Sea.
Yeah, what you described was a lot of very expensive activity. So he's saying, all right, if I'm going to pull this off, this is going to be a lot of steps. I can't just do this all in one turn. Like you said, I mean, even a bend in my will would be nice, but that is also an expensive card.
That's a future Sky problem.
Yeah, that's a future Sky problem. Today's Sky problem is staying in this game because he'd like to do some controlling too. Fungus has said, my deck's control deck, your deck is a get back in the day game deck, which is how it goes sometimes because it really is, like we said, do you have it or you don't? And two, your welcome says, oh, you definitely have it, especially after that Clarabelle was on the board. So he is looking at this clutch of cards, and sometimes this is kind of a miserable position to be in when you have this many cards because it's kind of like you're going through all the permutations. There's many different lines that can go, and you don't have many chances to get back in this game.
Clarabelle is going to hit the Inkwell. Sky, if he has the Shift Clarabelle, the light on her hoofs, he would be able to double ink and then play one Clarabelle and then play the Shift line on top, draw back into 9 full cards. Let's see, though, what it is that he has. Prince Philip probably coming down, Royal Explorer. Yep, Quest for 2 with Ward, and that's notable because if Fungus doesn't have a way to deal with this, the Shift line with the Malicious, Mean, and Scary is always going to be on the table.
Exactly. So he is standing there. I love the pose of this Prince Philip because he's going, haha, perchance I'll get back in this game. And that's, like you said, that Ward is critical because the only thing that gets around Ward is things that target everything. And so we just know that Malicious, Mean, and Scary will place 1 damage on everything. But then that Prince Philip is a pretty expensive card there at 9 ink, and we are looking at a total of 8.
Indy.
Hey guys, as I was talking, I realized that's the same number. If you get it now, 8 plus 1 is 9. So it's a situation where you can't necessarily play around the worst case scenario all the time because ultimately, if they have it, they have it. Spoiler alert: Fungus seems to have it. But
I mean, unfortunately, Fungus also has the line of just singing 2 Malicious, Mean, and Scaries too because that Prince Philip only has 2 willpower here. A Clarabelle is going to come onto the board. Sky doing a great job at getting the board back wide. We'll see how much Fungus will allow him to get back into this game. What cards in Fungus's hand really do matter. If he has the double Malicious, Mean, and Scary or the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes with the Malicious, Mean, and Scary, it will spell bad news for Sky.
Yes.
Let's see, though. Sky is about to end the turn, I believe. Do we challenge into the Tipo is maybe what he's thinking?
yeah, he's going to say, like, okay, you know, I can challenge, I can quest. I don't know how long I'll have these cards. Like you mentioned, it's a situation where,
what happened?
Well, looks like we go ahead and reverse the quest.
Oh, we just played the Tipo. That's
Oh,
why.
he said, I'm not dry
I
yet.
forgot about it.
I'm a drying sun. Tipo drying sun, because I cannot quest yet. So we do not do that. We do go ahead and elect to do some Cinderella challenging onto the other Tipo. So she has 1 damage on her, but honestly, if he has the Malicious, Mean, and Scary twice, then that's what he has. So he just has to say, I'll play what I can right now and just see where it goes here. And Fungus has a resplendent amount of cards.
Resplendent. That's a great word.
Thank you. And so here we go. No,
here's the first
don't let it
Malicious,
happen
Mean,
like
and Scary.
this.
Is it going to be the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes? All of the cards on the table. There's no more. Sky has 0 cards on board. No characters to speak of.
This is so.
This is going from bad to worse, Katie.
It is malicious, it's mean, it's scary, and honestly, we talk about these being control decks, and Fungus has said, I will control, I will keep controlling, and it has to be very devastating, because there's so many times where you're like, I can get back in this if XYZ, and so Sky does XYZ, and Fungus says, you won't, and it's just that he has the answers, and that's why that Clarabelle is so frustrating, because both these decks are trying to draw cards, trying to get answers, and Clarabelle is saying, me too, and then if you get the good cards, but here we go, Sky doesn't have the good cards, because he was doing a Vision of the Future to find exactly what he needs to get back in this game.
Vision of the Future. When I watch my opponent play that first, it makes me say, I don't know what they got. Let's see. I mean, I feel pretty happy when my opponent starts digging for cards. Sky is looking for something here. Has the choice between 2 Prince Philip Royal Explorers, maybe a Basil. Didn't quite make out the card that he picked. There was an improvise that's going to the bottom of the deck here. But either way, this feels like the make or break turn here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lore on the side of Fungus. Fungus will leap up to 13. We are at a 2-turn clock here. Why are you? I know.
Vision. So Vision is cool because you get to go ahead, look at 5 cards, and say, okay, I'll keep this one, put the rest. But if my opponent keeps visioning, I'm saying, okay, so they don't have exactly what they want right now. So I'm always kind of like, well, that's it's just you're spending more ink and you're looking for more answers. The more you look for answers, the less ink you have to pay for whatever that answer is, and you're just kind of letting your opponent go, okay, all right.
It's great when you just need the one piece
Yes.
left. It's like the final thing.
clean
All
up.
right, the victory lap. When you are behind and you are playing Visions of the Future, it always spells out to me that your hand is not so hot, that you need to look for something, you need to go a little bit deeper here. Sky is in the tank. He is thinking through every single permutation of combination of cards he could play right now to get his way back into this game. If you look at the lore counts, right, it's only 5-3, but you look at the board and it is just, I mean, there's no other way to put it, malicious, mean, and scary.
Yeah, I know. I mean, here we go. We have a Clarabelle. She's light on her hooves, but heavy on this board because she's standing there alone against the world. And so now Sky says, how many cards do you have? And he's like, oh, let me spend a few minutes counting here. And then we go ahead, match the hand size, and Sky says, okay, that was a lot. I'm going to pass. Can you please not have all the answers again? But all it takes is one more. You're welcome for that Clarabelle.
One more, you're welcome. And bend to my will would probably be the end of the game here. We'll see what Fungus has. He's going to think through his turn, even if he has exactly the cards needed. I think Fungus is still going to think it through, not get too excited. Both of these guys, I mean, look seriously. Look at the vacillation from focus to them looking up or something silly happening, and then them smiling, laughing, giggling with each other. Two guys that have played with each other. I mean, do you know if they've played with each other a fair amount? Are they friends?
I don't think they faced off. I do not.
Wow.
I don't think so yet, but they have sat next to each other. I mean, as we walk around the tables, I mean, they were always kind of near each other towards the top as they inch towards this day 2 top cut and now the grand finals. And I mean, they're peers, and so I think I've heard them speculate like how similar are our deck lists. Now they know. Very similar. So one thing that's kind of very magical in the TCG world is you'll say like, oh, let me see your deck list. And it's like, a refined palette I see. So I imagine there's a great amount of respect between these two players. I mean, they're both, like we mentioned, they're pillars in the community who are there, who want to show up. They do well, and then they share that knowledge with other people. So these are players that know this deck in and out. And it's fascinating because they don't test together or anything. They're not like in the same circles in that way, but they arrived at the pretty much same answer. So this makes me believe like this is the optimal list. If this is how we got here, they made it through the entire day, and they're this close.
Yep,
but
they made it to first and second place here. Who's who is still yet to be decided.
Yeah.
You really got to feel for Sky. Look at the look on his face. He's smiling. He knows that this game probably not the best, especially with that Visions of the Future. I mean, look at the difference of the Visions of the Future when Fungus plays it in this board state versus when Sky was playing it just a turn ago. I mean, brutal. Absolutely brutal is the word that comes to mind, Katie.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Sky's vision was to say, how can I not lose? And Fungus is like, well, how can I make sure I win?
Right.
And so it's just a very different tone. And so it can be brutal when you're watching your opponent and you're in this state because you have this Clarabelle and you want to protect her from everything in the world. You want to say, listen, I don't think you like Fungus and I want to protect you from him because you're just one cow against the world. But there's so many, I mean, not so many, but I mean, there's a couple things that can be a big problem if Fungus deploys it. So here he goes. He says, I'll keep kind of digging here, getting that sail, drawing a card, and he can ink again if he wants to. So Fungus doesn't have exactly what he wants. But
does Fungus not have enough ink already?
Yeah,
Come on, guys.
I want more ink. It's Fungus galore here, but either way.
Yeah, and they said, have you talked to a Sapphire player lately? Too much ink. Is there even such a thing? Fungus is going to go ahead and play another Vision of the Future here. I wonder what it is that he's digging for.
Well,
oh, whatever it was, he put that card into his hand very, very quickly. I wonder if it was the Bend to My Will.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I think I saw it.
Oh, if it is, I think we will be screaming.
It's an uninkable card. I don't know what it is, but he put it in his hand so fast, didn't even consider it. Sky, look at his face. He kind of winces, understanding
Looking
what the
at these cards for the last time, perchance.
Perchance, for this game at least. But we are going to a game. Look. This is a best of 5, the first to 3. So that's the good news here, is that even if Fungus finds a way to pull this out and win this game, as I'm sure many of us are expecting he will do, it's not over.
No.
If this was even one round ago, the game would be over. Sky still has an opportunity to make one of the best comebacks of all time as 3 additional ink hit the inkwell. Donald Duck, Perfect Gentleman, comes down. I got to imagine we're going to quest everybody out.
There you
We're
go.
going to sing Mother Knows Best here.
So that might be what his plan was there, to get that Mother's Knows Best, get his hand bigger. Maybe he doesn't have it will. So it's not over, guys. Yes, okay. Yes, Fungus has a lot of cards. And yes, he has a lot of ink. And yes, he has a lot of characters.
And yes, he just got up by 7, 8 lore, I believe.
Yes, all these things are true. The allegations are true. These things all happen in front of you. And yes, he will win next turn if Sky does not pull off exactly what he needs to win here. And I'm trying to see here, I mean, does he have, because he would need
11.
Yeah,
He has 11, so he would be able to ink, get to 12, pay 3 for the Malicious, Mean, and Scary, and then play the Vanquisher of Foes, wiping Fungus's entire board. That would be quite the show.
I would like that. I mean, that would be...
I mean, who wouldn't? Who doesn't want to see Sky come back? Who doesn't love seeing an underdog here? And just by the nature of these past 2 games, it looks like a lot of things are going Fungus's way. Sky is playing the part of the underdog. Will he be able to... He's counting out 3. I think that's the Malicious, Mean, and Scary. And now he's counting out 9 for the Phillip, Vanquisher of Foes. The entire board of Fungus is now in the discard pile.
And Sky says, how do you like them apples here? Saying that, did you like it? Didn't feel good when you did that to me, but it was incredible. It was exactly what he needed with the exact amount of ink. And now it is just 1 Phillip. And the Phillip is feeling pretty good. Now,
Katie, this is just game 2.
This is just game 2.
This is just game 2. That Phillip is feeling phenomenal, I'm sure. We'll see if Fungus has any answers in the seemingly infinite amount of cards that he has, but now he's drawing 1 card out of these 5 from the Visions of the Future. Which do we want? That's the critical question here. This could be the turn that decides whether or not Sky is able to come back in this game. 2 of the You're Welcomes have already been used by Fungus earlier in the match. Sky hasn't used a lot of his powerful cards, which means they're still in the deck. Katie, Sky could still take this back.
Imagine, if you will, a world where Sky plays Bend to Your Will. Now, I'd like to point out, I think Fungus has Bend to Your Will, or Bend to My Will, rather. Bend
to my will.
Bend to Jafar's will specifically.
Right.
But
You're doing it the polite way.
Yes, whomsoever will it is, whoever bends the will first shall make the other person feel very upset. But in this case, it is Fungus. And that has been the story of this matchup, is if he does it first, if he does it, and he has been doing it first, and how devastating to have exactly what you need, and your opponent always has exactly what you need. There's a Tipo doing...
And now he's going to empty out his hand just in case Sky draws into the Clarabelle, minimizing the amount of cards that he will be able to use. He will play... Probably look for a little more ramp even.
He kept that Mother's Knows Best.
Yeah.
Which is, I giggle because Mother Knows Best is, like we've seen before, we'll go ahead and bounce it back in Sky's hand.
Mine's a You're Welcome. I gotta imagine he's gonna take it.
Yeah. I think I'm going to change the card from You're Welcome to No Thank You.
But if Sky draws Clarabelle Light on her hooves, that could change the fate of this entire match here. He's counting out 4. It is not. It is Donald Duck, Perfect Gentleman. Not a bad card, though. Not a bad card.
It's not
I got
bad.
choked up.
You did. Well, to be fair, I have heard Donald Duck called Clarabelle when you don't have her. She is a way to draw a card. She's a way to stay in the game. It is 6 to 12, but Fungus has just a resplendent amount of cards. I mean, I'm thinking at this point, I would be, if I'm I'm like, please, could I just top deck that Bend to My Will? Does it win me the game? No, but it will stop me from this pain. That's what we just saw. We saw another malicious, mean, scary Prince Phillip, Vanquisher of Foe, Vanquisher of this game.
Yeah, and now it might be a little too late. Even if Sky were to draw into the Clarabelle Light on her hooves, here he would only be drawing 3 cards at the end. Cinderella comes down, and the fist bump also comes down. Fungus has taken game 2. We are going to game 3. Now, folks, all day today we've seen best of 3 matches, but this is not just any match. This is the grand finals of the Richmond Disney Lorcana Challenge 2026 Season 2. We're going to a best of 5 here. So Sky has the ability to make one of the greatest comebacks of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to note that this is a player that has been playing very early. I mean, Fungus, we know a little bit less about, but Sky we know. I think we both have co-head coaching and the team Reed Metaphys, and so
I won a set champs because of Sky.
So he's somebody that he's been in tournaments a lot. We've seen him all across the United States in tournaments. So if there's somebody who can say, listen, I've had some setbacks. but I can come back. I think it is Sky because ultimately we've seen him. Look, he's keeping the perspective here because we call it getting tilted in TCGs, which actually comes from pinball. But anyway, what that means is that something happened and you throw off your gameplay because you're like, oh my gosh, everything's going bad. But Sky is taking this in good step. He's talking to the lore guides. They're smiling. He's talking to Fungus and smiling. It's one of my favorite things is seeing them almost break character at the end of these matches. They're like, all right, to the next game.
That's when the electricity crackles and then dissipates.
Yeah, they're like, whew, anyway. And so it is something where this is the best case scenario because they know that they respect each other because I've seen them talking about how they respect each other. And this is, I mean, if you have to lose, it's to somebody you respect. But man, we love a game 4. So if we can get to a game 4, that'd be really cool to see Sky get to do a little bit here.
I'm telling you all right now, if you are watching this, I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. As a caster, I'm always rooting for the game 5. I'm always rooting for more games. I want this day to never end. Katie, I'm here at my first DLC casting. I don't want this to end. Look. I've had a little bit minimal interaction with Fungus. He seems like the nicest guy in the world. I have no bad feelings against him, but he is up 2-0. It's hard not to root for an underdog here. It's hard not to root for the story of a huge comeback, and at the very least, it's hard not to root for more Disney Lorcana as we go to game number 3 here. Oh, Katie, if you're Sky, what are we doing here? We're sticking to the game plan, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah, I mean, both of them have been trying to stick to the game plan, but the answer is Fungus has just had the game plan he stuck to it a little harder. He's really been able to get his hand on the cards when he needs it. And I mean, I've talked to a couple of players of this Emerald Sapphire matchup, and they just said so many times it was like, and then they had the other card I wanted before I had it. And so it really can be a series of they truly have what you're looking for before. We did see there was a Cinderella traffic jam in both the players' hands. We did see Sky in that last game opt to play the Donald Duck instead of the Cinderella.
All kinds of choices, all kinds of lines.
All throughout.
Right, and the minimal decisions, these little things, even as simple as what you choose to ink, can further down the line impact the game, especially with these control decks where you're going to be drawing more than half your deck a lot of the time, especially with these color pairings of Emerald Sapphire. Oh, it's just so hard, right? Because the thing is, both of these players are so good. Both of these players are masters of this deck. Both of these players have put so much time in. So when you have 1 or 2 decisive turns where you are able to take advantage of the board state of the cards in your hand just a little bit better, it's very hard to come back because your opponent knows exactly what you're trying to do, especially because you have the exact same deck almost.
Yes, I mean, as we noted, the only difference between these 2 deck lists is the account of John Silver's versus Improvise. And so we do see one of those John Silver's go to the Inkwell on Sky's side. He's going to go and develop your brain, look at 2 cards, put one on the bottom, one in his hand. He's saying, I got to get to these good cards. And then Fungus says, I will too. And he's doing the exact same thing on his side. And the one thing I want to note is I was like, oh, okay, this is a mirror match. We're going to talk about they're very swingy. Fungus has been grabbing the swing and just holding it on his side. And so a lot of time these matches can go on for an incredibly long time because it's just this power struggle where they keep going back and forth. But it's been a situation where Fungus has held a dominant position in all 3 games. Notably, he's been on the draw for all 3 games. So at this point, Sky is ready to take flight. And here we go. The first thing checked off the list.
Tipo, Growing Sun, ramp on 2, like you said. Now the question is, what do we ramp? I do see the Cinderella once again in Sky's hand. I am seeing the Clarabelle Clumsy Guest. I can't tell. I don't believe that we have the other Clarabelle. That would be setting up the exceptionally perfect setup, right? But yeah, it's just so hard to tell exactly what's in Sky's hand. Ladies and gentlemen, I am squinting right now.
I'd like to know, as I mentioned, we're doing the thing where like, I can look through the screen. But right. I mean, we see Donald Duck. We
see the Cinderella. We see a You're Welcome, which is something that Cinderella would be able to sing on turn 6. You would be able to play down the discounted shift line Clarabelle, right? And then sing the You're Welcome. Sky would be able to do it. If he draws into the Clarabelle light on her hooves, I think that Sky will be in a very, very, very dominant position here as Develop Your Brain hits the Inkwell. Tipo on Fungus's side comes down a true mirror match, but Sky is the one with the initiative on the play.
Yeah,
he drew into it. He drew into the Clarabelle.
He said, "There she is, my beautiful friend." But did he just grab a dink it?
Is he about to ink it?
I don't know.
Is he about to ink it? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I thought that the perfect play would be to. Whoa! Sky says, I don't. Oh, maybe he says no.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the more fascinating things because as we know, you don't have unlimited resources in these matchups. You can only do certain things, and so instead, this is the second time. It's turn 4. He says, "I'm going to go ahead, deploy the Donald Duck, go ahead and try to take advantage of the fact that the Clarabelle has been really problematic in these matchups." So he says, "Whatever, I'll play the perfect gentleman. It's going to pay off in the long run. I can do Cinderella next turn possibly." Yeah. And it's interesting, but Fungus says, "Oh, I will not be doing the perfect Donald."
This is the second time in a row Sky has taken this approach. I'm a little bit confused, but I assume Sky has played this matchup, right? Because when you are grinding your deck, you have to be prepared for the mirror match. So maybe there is something to having this Donald Duck draw you an extra card, especially when you are the one that is on the play. You have one less card than your opponent because they get to be on the draw. It's in the name. And yeah, I assume that the Cinderella is coming down so that we can ramp here. Ooh. It's very...
I can't imagine. So, I mean, when you're on the play, the disadvantage is, I mean, like you said, you're not on the draw. So you're trying to conserve those resources. So, yeah, I mean, there's upside, downside. It's like, okay, you want to have access to ink, but you also want to make sure that you're still drawing cards. And I could keep going. Ooh.
Right.
And it's hard because, I mean, these turns are just so ever important to make sure everything happens exactly the way Sky needs. And quite frankly, it has not been going Sky's ways the first 2 games. So now he is looking at his hand saying, is it time? I'm going to go ahead, develop my brain, see what we can do in the future. Like we said, we get to look 2 cards. One goes to the bottom, one stays in your hand. And that can be nice because if you're going to go ahead and ink and play Cinderella, you just got something new to your hand, and maybe it's something you don't mind inking. Cause
a double Clarabelle. We have 2 Clarabelle light on our hooves here. So I'm sure one of them is going to be inked in order to play the... Nope, Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, is inked. We're going to play the Cinderella, Dream Come True. At the end of the end of the turn, Sky right now is going to be able to ink something additionally from his hand. Maybe he's second guessing it. Maybe there's too many good cards in the hand.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're going to get. That's one of the things that can be very painful is you're going to go ahead and ink a card, but you have to then you draw a card. It is not a fun feeling to ink something, and then you draw a card, you're like, oh, that is not better than the
yeah.
thing. So it's just one of those things where it's the card I'm about to ink, but you need ink, so it's a constant battle of benefits versus the negatives, and so he just has to believe that he can see it through. There we go. We see Fungus doing the rare potential triple ramp. He draws for that sail on the Azurite Sea, and he can go ahead and ink an additional card for turn. Notably, that is a resource sink, and Donald Duck has been helping a little bit with that card draw because he can go ahead and draw on Sky's turn if he wants to, but.
Another sail, the Azurite Sea. You called it, Katie. You called it. We're going to triple ink this turn. And once again, Fungus will be able to take a dominant position in the ink.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 different games here going on. We have the ink count, the board, what's on the board, and what's in the hand. And so Fungus has been really winning all 3 battles. And so he's saying, okay, I'll start I am not currently winning necessarily on the board. I'm not necessarily winning in the hand, but I can go ahead, draw these cards with Azurite Sea, ink it, and then here we go. This is the first puzzle piece to the hallmark puzzle piece of the Malicious, Mean, and Scary Prince Philip combo.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed, because... part of the combo, to explain it to you, everybody, part of the combo is you can sing the Malicious, Mean, and Scary. It's a song that puts 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's characters and then play the Prince Philip shift line into the Vanquisher of Foes, which would banish all of the characters on Sky's side of the board that has a damage on it. Now, you remember what I said about Malicious, Mean, and Scary. It puts a damage counter on. It even gets around resist. That's not important in this matchup. But Fungus, right now, with this Prince Philip Royal Explorer, is threatening to wipe Sky's board. Now, if he has it, is the other question. And Sky has to decide that. And that...
we keep going. I'd like to point out there's many times we're going, because so many... To beat these players who have been playing this deck, this is, I mean, technically round, oh gosh, 5 plus 17 is around 17, 15, 17?
Grand finals.
It's the grand finals. They've been playing a lot of Disney Lorcana, guys. So what that means is that they have been making these decisions. The things being brought be like, oh, what about this, what about this? They are doing that over and over again all day.
In their head, just going through, what could my opponent have? And we get to see, for the most part, what they both have, and we're still struggling, Katie. These guys' brains are so huge.
They are. They are sitting there going, I'm surprised they're not just like steam gently coming off their heads.
Right.
They're processing this beyond the computing power of any man's brain. But there we go. We have 6 ink here. So this is a time where I'm like, man, it'd be really cool if you had Bend to My Will right now. That is a card that we've been used. Now, it's so tricky because Bend to My Will, I've called it like a heavy card because it's one of those cards that it's uninkable. And when you need it, wow, it's great. But when you don't need it, you're like, okay, this is not anything useful. So we are looking at it and I don't see it. We see a Mother Knows Best, but Ward. So that's one of those things that's tricky.
We won't be able to bounce back that Prince Philip. That is why this Prince Philip shift line is so hard to get around. You have to be able to deal 2 damage to the Prince Philip without targeting it. How do you do it? Only 2 Malicious Mean and Scaries, as far as I know, with Sky's deck. Or the Malicious Mean and Scary with the Prince Philip of your own, but he doesn't have enough ink to play it because he doesn't have the shift line set up.
Yeah, and so he is in what I would consider, once again, kind of an unfavorable position where he can't do exactly what he needs to do to win. So he has to do what he needs to stay in the game. He wants to protect, because then you get to the point where you're like, okay, well, then I don't want to overexert. Sometimes we say, or rather overextend, but where you play too many cards to the board. But then what can happen is if you're playing around what you think your opponent might do, you're harming yourself because you're not doing things that could win you the game because you're afraid you might lose the game. So you want to make them have it.
Make them have it. That's the name of the game here. Sky is going to play down the Clarabelle Light on our hooves. We're going to Mother Knows Best, the Cinderella. And we'll see, does Fungus have it? That's the question on my mind. I'm sure that's the question on your mind, probably the question on everybody's mind at home. Does Fungus have the Malicious, Mean, and Scary and the Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes? If he does, then that Clarabelle Light on our hooves is going to be gone very, very soon.
Here we go. So he has 4 cards in hand, and he just drew for turn. And Prince Philip can sing, and then after that you shift, and after that he's good because so we haven't seen him rapidly do anything. So that's
right.
Here we go.
Doesn't really say anything.
It does not. So we have 9 ink. We are singing.
Malicious, Mean, and Scary. And the Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, is going to take Sky's whole board and put it into the discard. Wow. Illumineers.
Yeah, if everyone listening.
Illumineers, I'm telling you right now, this mirror match has looked so lopsided. Oh my goodness. Will Sky find a way? I am rooting for a Game 5, a decisive Game 5. Will Sky find a way, or will he not? We're only at 3 Lords to 1. That's the thing to note, Katie. There's no clock, and there's really only a short clock here on the Prince Philips. If there is a way to contest this, if Sky finds a way to pull off the combo on his own, well, he'd be right back in this because it's not like Fungus is already at 12 or 15, right?
I say yes, right, but I keep looking and I keep thinking about all the moments in this game where like, hey, all Sky has to do is this, and Fungus just doesn't need to have that. But Fungus, my goodness, like we said, make him have it, and then the answer is, does he have it? And then there's been, yeah, he has it. And so it's just one of those things where, I mean, sometimes we say it is your day, and it is looking very bright for Fungus. But here we go. Sky says, I'm still in this game. I got a Donald Duck on the board. I'm inking a Clarabelle. That's all I got right now.
Pass 4 ink not used. Sky a little bit on the ropes here. I think this is the turn, Katie. I say that in every game of Disney Lorcana, there feels like there is a decisive turn. I'm going to say that as soon as Fungus passes here, he's going to be able to quest out, right? Go from 1 to 6 up to 7. This is the decisive turn. If he wants to quest out that Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, but we might not. Okay, we might get up to 5.
Okay.
This is the turn here.
Yes, I mean, he just put the hand marker on, which, okay, he says, I will turn or quest because he might not see it again.
If he passes here,
Okay.
Then Sky has the ability to sing Malicious, Mean, and Scary with the Donald Duck and then play his own because he is at the critical ink mark for this deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He would be able to ink one card.
I see a Malicious.
I see a Malicious, Mean, and Scary. I can't see the other two cards. One of them is a Basil. If this card gets played, Katie, I'm telling you right now,
I will get up and run around a little lap. Do a lap around the booth.
The Malicious, Mean, and Scary. Here's the other part. The 9 ink is getting exerted, and Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, is going to vanquish all of the foes on Fungus's side of the board.
That is, I mean, does he have it? Sky has it now. And that
Sky's the one that has it. Sky has the opportunity on the critical turn, on the decisive move of the game, on whether or not I was going to say it might be game over after this. Sky finds it in the darkest hour. If he takes this game, this would be incredible. What are you pointing at, Katie?
So you're welcome in there. Now, it's not over because, I mean, ultimately, but you're welcome would cause Sky to be able to draw 2 cards. But, man, there's just options here. And I mean, well, I mean, at least I say they're welcome.
There are some options,
John
but
Silver
look at Fungus's hand. Fungus does not have a lot of cards in hand, and he is sort of he's shuffling through these cards here, trying to figure out what's the best option.
Yeah, because like we mentioned, I mean, there's always a kind of, usually is a downside when you do these things. For example, you're welcome is really nice if you have a Clarabelle out, not so nice if you don't, because then Sky says, thank you for those more cards. I really do want to get back in the game. So he has to decide which of these 5 cards is the best option to stay in the game the most healthy way possible. So we do have that 2 ink exerted. He will go ahead. Look, did he just vision? No, he's the same vision.
Vision of the future. Yep, he is checking.
He's still in the vision.
He's trying to figure it out. Again, grand finals, untimed. Fungus even cracking a little smile here, understanding the critical nature of this decision. Now, I believe this is the critical turn for Fungus. If Fungus is able to, if Fungus is not able to find a way to turn this around, then we are going to a game 4 here. John Silver, not bad, but not exactly what you want to see here.
Yeah, I mean, in control decks, there's going to be things that completely get rid of something and something that just buys you a little time. That is a little bit of a buy yourself a time. Now, that being said, what gets around Reckless is going to be singing. So Malicious, Mean, and Scary is a song. You're Welcome is a song. So if Prince Philip is able to find a little tune.
I think I just saw Bent to My Will in Sky's hand. I might be wrong, but I think I saw the flash of it.
That's not a song, but that would be very... Is he smiling? What is that smile? Is that...
He's smiling, thinking, do I take all of Fungus's cards? Maybe I'm wrong. I was wrong the other game when I thought that Fungus had it, but he didn't. Now it's up to Sky. If Sky is able to strip Fungus of all of his cards, well... That would put Fungus in a pretty bad position. He'd be top decking, hoping for a Clarabelle, Light on Her Hooves. There are many cards that would be considered a miss or a brick. But that is Bend to My Will, right? Am I crazy? So the Azurite Sea is coming in. We still have 7 ink. Yeah, we still have enough ink to play it if we do. And of course, you draw first. Yeah.
And it's fascinating because ultimately John Silver has Reckless, but it's only must challenge if able to. So if he did have something like You're Welcome, he can go ahead and say, listen, I don't have to challenge. Okay, here we go.
Bend to My Will!
We did it.
I saw it, and it happened. Malicious, Mean, and Scary, and the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes gets stripped from Fungus, and now Sky is right back in this game. We might be going to a game 4, Katie, right when it looked like it was over.
That is what we love to see. I always want to see both players came to do what they practice with their deck.
I feel like I've run a mile.
You did. You got up and you were running while you did that.
Somebody fit might say, why do you sound so so out of breath?
He was running in place, so everyone at home can't see it. But here we go.
Now one lone John Silver alien pirate on the board of Fungus. The card that Fungus needs to put himself back into this match would be either a Donald Duck Perfect Gentleman or a Clarabelle Light on Her Hooves. We'll see what he has. If this is a Tipo, which would be really bad news.
And that's so funny. I love that worst case scenario. I was like, you know, I'll say that to somebody if they're going through a hard time. Could be a Tipo. But here we go. It's counting out a lot of ink for Tipo. Tipo notably is 2 ink. So he's saying, okay, how much do I have? It could just be an audit. And so Sky is saying, honestly, Fungus, I like you, but you scare me a little with what you've been up to.
Prince Philip. Now that is a little bit of a scary card, but without the other combo pieces, not quite so bad here. I mean, Fungus will get to draw an additional card off of the Donald Duck, and maybe this Donald Duck is going to be a little bit of a double-edged sword here, because while Sky is able to keep drawing cards to keep his opponent off of great cards, you don't want Fungus to draw into something absolutely nasty.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the things that can be so devastating in Sapphire control matches is it's trying to get to really, like you said, kind of nasty things to do to somebody. It's just things like making you discard, wiping your board, discarding your whole hand. I mean, we even saw earlier Ink Geyser. It's like, get rid of your ink. So and that's not in this pair, but there's just lots of things they have access to. In this case, we'll say, fine, I'll go ahead and challenge. Look at me. I'm happy to go ahead and take that because I survived that challenge. So he goes ahead and takes advantage of that. And then here we go. Now this is...
Oh, bounces back his own Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes. What a heads-up play, because at 5 damage, with only 6 willpower, that Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes was in the range of Malicious, Mean, and Scary. And you don't want to see that card get taken off the board. So Basil. So Sky says, with Basil, I'm going to bounce back my own Vanquisher of Foes and put you in a tough position. You know that I have it. There's nothing you can do about it. And if I draw into another Malicious, Mean, and Scary, guess what? I have all the combo pieces and all the ink to play it.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing to note is that Prince Philip does have the ability to sing that Malicious, Mean, and Scary and then go ahead and be shifted. But he has one card in hand and he's going to draw a card. Like you said, that Donald Duck is kind of a double, like a problem where he's caused Fungus to draw that one card. So he's passing, and the question is, do you have what you are looking for here, which would be perfectly Malicious, Mean, and Scary and the Shift Prince Philip. So that's worst case scenario. But
that would be
really bad.
If Fungus draws 2 cards off the top, and it is exactly Malicious, Mean, and Scary and Vanquisher of Foes, that would be an insane turn.
It would. But honestly, if anyone can do it, Fungus can do it. But here we go. Okay.
Chances are astronomical. Probably a Basil.
Oh,
yep,
okay.
Bouncing back
like
to Basil.
You know, this has been a game they've been playing, mouse and mouse, where they just go ahead and keep kind of doing the same thing back and forth. He goes ahead and says, by the way, I have this Donald trigger. You can draw a card if you so choose. I'm going to draw 2, one for my turn and 1 for the Donald. And let's see what Sky has in the hand. He's been kind of collecting a series of cards. It's the most cards, most ink, and best footing in this game we have seen from Sky in this game 3. So we do see a Prince.
I think I see the Malicious, Mean, and Scary in hand, which means he could play that if he wanted to. Even if he wanted to quest out the Donald Duck, he would be able to. He has enough ink to play it, and we know that he has the Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes. He's gonna sing it. We're going to play it.
I'm ready to run around again.
She's run around, Katie. The combo has been achieved once again, and now Fungus is back on the back foot.
That is for the first time in forever, we're saying, all right, look at this board here. So Sky has
Those are my favorite lyrics to the song. The first time in forever, I'm saying, look at this board.
Yeah, but for the movie Frozen. But here we go. We have, I mean, I'm speechless because look at this. Liz got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on board. 8 lore here. We do have that Basil, which is kind of a tempo play here. And he says, okay. And then now we have 2 cards in Fungus's hand, but we know that we have the Basil back, the bounce back to Sky's direction, so it can kind of be
right.
an Basil cycle.
If you're Fungus, you don't exactly want to bounce back that card because it is a high-value card. If this Basil, for example, on Fungus's side goes for a quest, sure, Sky will have to discard one of his cards at random, but then he would be able to use Tipo, put 1 damage onto the Basil, and then replay that Vanquisher of Foes because he put it back into Sky's hand. Let's see what Sky lets you do. It's the Basil battle.
It is the Basil bounce. You don't see it all the time where every Basil bouncing back and forth forever. But here we go. We have a Basil bouncing that Basil back to the hand. We have Clarabelle. We have a Tipo saying, oh, you know, I can quest. And just like that, Sky is going up to a total of 13 lore.
With game on board, might I add. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lore represented. Sky only needs 7. He's getting extra credit over here.
Yeah, I mean, Sky, his handle on some of the social media is Sky131313. And one time I said, what is that about? And he said, that's my lucky number. So is 13 his lucky number to get his first win in the finals here at this grand final.
Okay. 6,
okay.
7.
All right.
Exerted to bounce back another Basil, the Basil battle of bounce here. But something that we know. Yeah, what were you going to say?
Well, we know. We're whispering to each other. There's 2 shifted characters that can shift in this on the board.
Which means that he would be able to gain an extra 2 lore if he needed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, Sky just has to shift on the Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, and then he would quest out for 7 here.
Or Clara.
Or Clarabelle.
Clara, we're on a first name basis here, me and Clarabelle. I call her Clara.
Yeah.
But here he goes. But does he have it?
I'm still getting to know Clarabelle. You know what I mean?
Right. You want to get to know her. But instead, he says, I will do exactly. I'll do for
Here we go. Fungus smiles and goes, oh, yeah, I kind of knew exactly
You can have a
what
win
was
as a
gonna happen.
treat, okay?
Yup. And now, Katie, we are in Game 4. We
Yes.
are going to Game 4. This is exactly what I was rooting for. I'm sure you were rooting for it too. Casters, we love to cast these games. The more games, the better. Let's go for a Game 5. Or will Fungus be able to take this game on the play? I believe this will be his first game on the play, Katie.
Yes. So for those just joining, this is a best of 5. So we talk about who gets to go first. We don't have to roll dice because ultimately it is based on your seeding. Sky was going into the top 32 at the 11th place, and then we had Fungus at 12, which means Sky got to go first, and then he lost that game. But then he got to go first because he lost,
Game.
and then he lost that one. But then Game 3, he got to go first, and he won.
Yep.
But what that shows me is Fungus has proved you can win on the draw. He's proven it twice, and Sky says, I'll prove it twice too. Because, I mean, that's what he needs to do to win this champion.
If Sky is able to take this back from the jaws of defeat, what a story. Or will it be Fungus coming in and saying, nope, I'm going to deny it. Both of these Emerald Sapphire Masters putting on an epic clash here in Richmond, the grand finals of the Disney Lorcana Challenge 2026 Season 2. My name is Brent Mukai. I'm joined by Katie, and we are so happy if you are joining us now.
That's how happy we are.
Prepare yourself, yeah.
If you are happy just like Aladdin here, I mean, my goodness, I mean,
Aladdin's watching the game on TV.
he's just as happy. And honestly, I am so excited for those joining us because honestly, that's one of my favorite parts is knowing that we're, people are watching out in the floor of the Disney Lorcana Challenge, but people are watching all over the country, all over the world. I'm sure there's people in Europe who are like, I need to go to bed so bad. It's really late. But they're watching because this matters. These are going to be their peers. I mean, one of these people they're going to have to play. There's someone in Europe saying, I have to play one of these guys. And so this all matters so much. So all across the world, if you're watching, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us because we are about to enter game number
4.
It's here.
It is here. The players are shuffling up here. The crowd has gone silent.
The crowd. I mean, honestly, because, we've seen really... it's stunning. These decks are so funny because sometimes it can be a little bit like, the first few turns are kind of like, all right, they're going to ramp, they're going to do that. I would like to note that we have seen Sky have Cinderella in hand and play Donald Duck, Perfect Gentleman. Now, I imagine, knowing that he's done it twice on the play, that it's definitely tied to something about the play draw strategy in the mirror match and this kind of deck. But that is something we will not know until later because right now we can only say, well, now we're going to say see Sky on the draw. And it might be a very different Sky because these decks just have better advantages when you're going first or when you're going second. And that's what the on the draw on the play means in this matchup. So he is doing his altar phase. We have 3 cards in one, 4 in the other. I like to guess which one's the keep pile, which one's the no.
I got to assume that Sky is going to keep the Sail the Azeroth Sea and let go of the Mother Knows Best.
I don't know. Listen, like I said, it's a play draw. It could be very different. But no,
he's a madman.
He's a madman. That's how he got here. But no, to your point, we have seen players pitch a full 7 cards back looking for that very, very critical ramp. So in this case, yes, we're going to go as a Mother Knows Best, and it's best at the bottom of the deck. And we will go ahead and draw those 3 more cards, trying to get the perfect hand as we start this game.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, could it be the mirror? Was the mirror the middle of the middle game? Could it be that Fungus won the first 2 games, and then right in the middle of game number 3, the mirror truly shifted, where then Sky started winning, and then he said, and I'll win from here on out. It could be. I don't know. But it is a mirror match, which means it's kind of pretty much exactly the same decks. It's certainly the same ink pairing and certainly the same cards in the deck. The only thing different of these 60 cards deck, like we mentioned, is just the Improvise versus the John Silver. There's 3 in Sky's deck of Improvise and John Silver versus 2 Improvise and 4 in...
Hate to interrupt you, Katie, but the game has
started.
started.
I'm sorry.
One card in the inkwell, and Clarabelle, clumsy guest, comes down, setting up that shift line. If you feel like you're seeing deja vu here, folks, it's because we are in game 4. I cannot wait to see who wins this. What a swingy mirror match this has been. Let's see both players doing their best to out-navigate the other. Develop Your Brain gonna hit the inkwell for Sky. I see another Develop Your Brain in hand, 2, in fact, I think. And
Cinderella
will he
in there?
play it?
I don't know what I'm looking at. But okay,
Oh,
Clarabelle.
no.
So for now, it's
Clarabelle.
just a Clarabelle. But one thing to note is a lot of times people are like, Tipo or Sail the Azurite Sea. As we've mentioned a few times during the broadcast, I mean, Tipo, the ink comes in exerted. He's a character, which is nice. But Sail is going. Tipo lets you ink anything. So let's say you're in a situation where you have 4 Cinderellas, and you're like, that's simply too many. Tipo can, but missed it.
Vision of the Future is getting played right now instead of the ramp, which means that Fungus will not be able to do the classic curve of ramp into Cindy. This is going to throw everything off here. Sky, we already know, has the Sail the Azurite Sea. If there was a moment to take this to a Game 5, this is the moment. Let's go Sky here. I wouldn't say it's the decisive moment, obviously, but
it is a moment that is, I mean, it's all incremental, right?
An important moment.
Yes.
Sky is the one on the draw. He got to draw an extra card, which usually puts you behind on ink, puts you behind in tempo, but now Sky takes the lead with the ink.
Yeah, so I mean, the good news is Fungus was able to do something. He was able to ink, he was able to do an action, but like you said, in this case, Sky is saying, okay, I have a little bit of breathing room, I have a little bit of ink, and I think I see a Cinderella, and
I saw 2.
So that is, I don't know if you guys know, this film does not ramp as well, so in this case, we say, actually, I regret that decision. I'm going to take that back, because you are allowed to do take backs as long as you did not learn any information and nothing material happened here. So he will go ahead and develop his brain. Instead, say, is there anything better than this? And then it finally hit ramp. I think I saw a Sail.
It was the Sail the Azurite Sea. I got to imagine that's the card that's going to come down. And Fungus is right back in it. These early rounds, while they may seem routine by now, because we've seen 3 different instances of them, kind of build the whole match. They are the bricks. They are the foundation on which the house of this epic match will be built.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing to note is, so the take-back policy is no new information learned by playing it, but Sky did learn a piece of information that you can unfortunately take back, which now he knows, okay, Fungus has Prince Philip, which is, as we know, a very key piece to the combo, but Sky just has to keep charting the course ahead, and he's got that Cinderella that we knew and love, and he goes ahead and deploys it, keeps that Clarabelle upright, which makes me believe that there could possibly be a Shift Clarabelle beat incoming.
Mm-hmm. That Shift Clarabelle in combination with a Cinderella You're Welcome here on whatever it is that Fungus plays, well, he won't be able to You're Welcome the Prince Philip, because that Prince Philip Royal Explorer has Ward, a 3-2 quest for 2, setting up the combo.
The combo. We're calling it a combo because, quite frankly, we've said what that combo is, but it is that Prince Philip, and let's just be in a scary combo. Now, that being said, one of the cool things about having that Clarabelle is, since he's not really interacting with it, then Sky, in theory, if he could shift, he could go ahead and, well, Sky, or unfortunately, Fungus doesn't have the biggest hand ever. But if he had Your Welcome and the Clarabelle, he can kind of say, listen, I know what you're about to do.
But there's no good target, and maybe that's why Fungus played the Prince Philip. He knows he's setting up the the malicious, mean, and scary combo, the Wombo combo, if you will, and it has to give Sky some pause, because now there's nothing he can do about this Prince Philip unless he wants to hardcast a malicious, mean, and scary and then sing it with the Cinderella, but that seems like a big waste of resources for not a lot of threat, but you kind of have to. I mean, what's the line between playing around something and or just making them have it, Katie? Where does that decision line break for you?
I think that decision line is based in hours and hours of practice on these decks, and it's based on knowing what the limit of your deck is. And so what I'm saying is I don't have hours and hours of practice with the deck. These players are showing us what that line is. So that being said, he is able to get benefit by playing the Cinderella. And that will, like you said, the Cinderellas say, princesses, I see princesses. We're inking the Tipo and getting ready, because we say, like, Prince Philip, Malicious, mean, and scary, that's the worst case scenario, but he also is trying to play around the potential that Clarabelle will shift, which is another problem. It's kind of contradictory problems, because Sky wants to have as many cards in hand in case he does have that board wipe so he can recover, but he also doesn't want to see Fungus just keep getting away with that card draw.
Only uses the trigger once. Could have used the Cinderella twice. That shows me that Sky has some critical game pieces in hand here. I can't see what they are. He's doing a great job of playing it close to the vest here, not showing anything. Malicious, mean, and scary, and the Prince Philip combo comes down. Everything is off of Sky's board, and just like that, Fungus has turned it around. The perfect set of cards needed in the early rounds. Fungus was not bluffing. Sometimes you set up the Prince Philip Royal Explorer as a bluff to keep your opponent off it, but Sky still has a good amount of cards in hand. Fungus notably with only one.
Yeah, and I mean it's tricky because I do see You're Welcome, which You're Welcome suddenly. So what the ward doesn't carry through. Basically, once you shift whatever's on that top card is now what the situation. The damage carries, but not the abilities below. So in theory, he could You're Welcome, but he really doesn't want to give Fungus cards. But he also doesn't want Fungus to win. So in this case, he's like, well, all right, I'll play Clarabelle. Then he can set up for that You're Welcome.
Setting up the You're Welcome next turn.
So that was a situation of, okay, please don't let you have.
And
he has the next worst thing.
Down, bounces back the Clarabelle to the hand. Sky won't be able to set it up. Oh, and now we're representing 6 lore on board. Sky in a little bit of trouble here. This feels like the critical. This feels like the decisive turn here. What is Sky going to do? He has 4 cards in hand, which is not an insignificant amount of cards. Can he figure out a way to turn this around?
Because, yeah, I mean, like we said, there's upsides and downsides to everything he does from this point. Because if he spends ink to go ahead and do You're Welcome, because normally it'd be really quite nice to sing You're Welcome because you don't have to use the ink. But then he gives cards into Fungus's hand, and then if that's not nice, and he's using so much of his cards to do that.
That's not nice.
That's not nice. It's a nice thing to do, but it doesn't feel nice. So he says, I'm going to try this again. You're going to make me discard, and I won't love it. Now, this discard is going to be at random, so he has to survive a couple of things here. This Clarabelle has to survive this turn, and then also the Basil when he quests, which I assume he will. That it doesn't discard exactly what he needs to stay in this game.
2 cards coming down for a vision of the future. Develop your brain into visions of the future is something that I, as a mid-range player of the past, we used to fear a lot, and Fungus just took that card very quickly. I couldn't see what it was, but he took it fast. It's another develop your brain. Fungus is just cycling through the deck, trying to figure out what he wants to keep. And now he won't. The upside for Sky here is that Fungus used all of that ink to keep digging and digging and digging. And now the decision is between 2 cards, and he probably can't play it unless it's like the Prince Philip Royal Explorer. I got to assume he's keeping something a little more high cost so that he can play it on the next turn. But let's see what happens. Sky has this is a moment. Sky has the opportunity. We're going to quest for 2. We're going to see what Fungus hits, because Basil, undercover detective, with his ability allows you to take one of your opponent's cards at random. It's the You're Welcome! Katie, if there's a second You're Welcome, that won't be any problem.
If there's a second, this isn't a problem.
But
that's the only one, and my goodness.
That was the card that Sky needed to be able to put Prince Philip back into Fungus's deck, have him draw 2 cards, and now you kind of can empty out your hand, draw an additional 2 cards off of Fungus, get that Clarabelle engine going. This is make or break time right here.
We've said
what does Sky have? There's been so many decisive
I know.
turns.
Like, this one's the maker, and that's really what the story of control matches, right? Is that this is critical. This is critical. This is really what they're doing.
Yeah. No, I take it back. This is the critical turn.
It's just, guys, just in more critical. But it really is, and it's so hard because, like we said, there's a term you hear all the time: make him have it, make her have it, make them have it, and all it is saying, I'm gonna do what I need to do to win, and they just have to have it or I lose. And but the problem is every time I've seen Sky said make him have it, Fungus is like this, and he holds it.
Right.
And it's been a great time.
Illumineers, if you are just tuning in right now, you are at one of the most sweaty decision points of the entire, I was gonna say of the match, but maybe of the entire tournament here. Sky is down 1 game to 2. It is a best of 5, first to 3. If Fungus takes this game, he will be your Richmond Disney Lorcana Challenge champion. He's at 11 lore. Sky is at 0 lore with a lonely Clarabelle out there, but Fungus has 0 cards in hand. Everything that he has is on board. You're pointing, Katie. What did you see off of that vision of the future?
I saw a Basil. So now that's interesting because Basil can return that Prince Philip. Now that's not fun because you could do the combo, but we needed something to disrupt. That's what he's looking for, is something to disrupt this runaway lore train that Fungus is developing. So I'm wondering what he kept here, but really, I mean, if there's a You're Welcome, that would have been nice. Oh,
it's You're Welcome! Katie, you called it! You absolutely called it! We'll be able to You're Welcome the Prince Philip back into the deck. That vision of the future was exactly what Sky needed to dig a little bit deeper. Don't get the cards confused, but Basil's coming down instead.
Well, this is 2 things, right? Because Basil can bounce it back, and then You're Welcome, Clarabelle can sing.
onto the Basil.
Yeah, so I mean, he can do two things here.
He can bounce back the Basil and then play your welcome onto the Prince Philip.
He says, I can have it all. For once, I can have it.
I take it back. This was the decisive turn, Katie.
This one.
No, this one. And now Fungus will get 2 cards off of that, but so will Sky. Sky will be able to draw because of the Clarabelle effect. Light on her hooves, she'll be able to draw the exact amount of cards that Fungus has in hand. This year, welcome turns into a benefit for both of them. Smart players have told me any time you can take a card and find its downside and turn it into an upside for yourself, you are going to get ahead. That is the exact premise of the Clarabelle You're Welcome combo. Fungus, we did see a flash of a Tipo there.
Oh my God, there's 3 Tipos. You know those are worse than 1 Tipo? 3 Tipo. We don't know, but 1 Tipo means statistically.
Sky has a fresh new 3 cards here as Fungus draws. This is a critical turn for Fungus. If Fungus did, let's say, for example, if Fungus did draw 3 Tipos, that would be awful. But instead, we're going to challenge him to the Clarabelle because
1 damage.
The Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, is coming down.
And so that is not the most shocking way to use it, but it is devastating in the sense that at this point what that means is that the Vanquisher of Foes got rid of the Clarabelle, but notable. But Basil is a 2-phased undercover detective.
He drew into the Mother Knows Best. What he can do is play out the Mother Knows Best. Hard cast it if he wants. Quest with that Basil, and then hope that one of the 3 cards selected that he will have to discard using the Interfere effect will be the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes. If there is any time to high roll, this is it. I feel like that is the exact play Sky is thinking over right now. I don't know what the other cards are, but that is not a bad top deck because you potentially have the ability to take away this Prince Philip for the cost of 3 ink. Vision of the Future is going to come down, though. We're going to go 5 cards deep, and look at what we got.
I know, and this is the thing, is we keep saying, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And that's really why this deck is not easy to learn and why it's nice that we have Sky and Fungus around to help us all learn it, because it's very decision points. And statistically, if I do this, can I get back in? What's better? Visions is something you see a lot of players do before they do kind of like their plan, is because they're like, all right, is there anything else that might happen that is better than what I'm about to do? So in this case, we do the Vision, which go ahead and take care of 2 of the ink that he has, and now he has a even bigger clutch of cards. All right, Sky, show us how you can come back here. We have Fungus at 11 lore with 3 presented on board, 2 in hand, but we do know if that Basil chooses to quest.
You're welcome!
He says, I shan't. I shan't.
Does that mean that we have the Clarabelle light on our hooves and that we're about to draw a bunch of new cards here?
Has he played Bend to My Will this game? Was that last game?
Oh, you're talking to past, Brent. I don't know.
I know. Well, what I mean to say, though, is like bouncing something to the hand and then, or rather discarding. Sorry, bouncing.
I believe that was this game. I believe that Sky did play the Bend to My Will, and we both know that there was
only one in each deck.
Which, as a reminder to the folks at home, that Clarabelle light on her hooves will draw Sky some fresh new cards. We got the exact combo that we wanted. Fungus has not played his Bend to My Will. That is always on the table. That's something Sky is going to have to be considering also as a way to turn it around. What are you pointing at, Katie?
Because if you...
what are you looking at?
What do you see? What do you see, Katie? I see.
What is it, girl?
It's all inkable. So that's what I was going to say. He doesn't have it yet. But every card that in these matchups, every time they draw a card, I'm going, it could be that, could be that. Now in desperate situations early in the game, if you have everything good, you might end up using a Tipo to get rid of Bend to My Will, and you don't feel so good about it. But here we go. Instead, it is saying, I shall try what you just did and go ahead and bounce that Basil back to your hand. Now, it is kind of funny because if you have these 2 Basils and you bounce a Basil back with a Basil, he can then do it next turn. But we know...
The Basil bounce battle.
The Basil bounce battle.
The triple B.
The triple B, which is very famous in this game. But in this case, Sky can draw for turn. So Sky has the most cards we've seen him have at this point in the game in a long time. But he has to have a little bit of flashbacks of the times that Fungus said, do you know what my will is? My will is you discard your hand. And he's like, okay, I really need to use as many cards as I have. And he has a lot of ink to do it with. At this point, he has 10 ink. He starts with sailing away.
Go ahead and take a look at the cards. You have enough cards in hand to be able to ink twice if you want to, even pull even more ahead on that ink battle. I'm almost speechless here.
Yeah, I'd be very, very scared to keep too many cards in my hand at this point because ultimately...
If Fungus top decks the other Clarabelle light on her hooves, and then we have the Clarabelle Starabelle.
Yeah, the Clarabelle Sarah. Well, they keep looking at each other. It's like, listen, I will be light on my hoofs. It's a dance-off. So we see the Prince Philip. We see a John Silver, which John Silver is interesting because it does take away Basil's ability to request and activate that discard. Other than that, I mean, he's a nice body, but he's also inkable. People have been talking about how he's inkable, so we'll ink that John Silver, taking advantage. And we also ink an improvise.
Basil the Basil.
Yes,
yeah.
he says, I love the BBB play. You should try it yourself.
And if this is the same thing that keeps on going, the fact that Sky has the Clarabelle, he'll be able to keep on incrementally questing for 2 each turn, which is critical. As much as Sky has control of the board right now, though, I want to take your attention to the lore counts. Fungus is at 11. It's going to be hard to catch up. Can Sky do it?
Yeah, so we're going ahead and do a little audit here because ultimately he paid something that was 7 costs. He went ahead and then sailed. He inked twice. In this case, we will go ahead and deploy a Prince Philip, which, as we know, has been a menacing. It should be called Prince Philip Menacing Presence because he kind of just sits there and says, "Will I or won't I?" And in this case, he's standing there, and that Clarabelle says, "I'm feeling kind of relaxed. I'm going to do a little questing." And then with that, Sky gets 2 lore and is on the board.
Yeah.
That was a ton of work to get to 2 lore. I didn't realize he had no lore yet.
He had no lore yet. And Fungus now at 11 lore, still with 4 ink, maybe a Cinderella, maybe a Prince John. You got to
First, the Basil bounce again.
You got to start developing the board, though, right? The Basil bouncing the Basil is one of the funniest things that I've seen. I guess these players have played enough mirror matches to know that that is one of the optimal play lines. Having the ability to discard one of your opponent's cards at random is something that you should be terrified of. Hence, the Basil bounce battle, the triple B. Sky has a decision to make here. Or no, sorry. Fungus has a decision to make here.
Soon Sky will have one.
This could be make or break here. Mother Knows Best is going to return the Clarabelle, and just like that. But, I mean...
So Clarabelle is nice, but Clarabelle mimics your opponent's hand size. And just as we see with that 4-fingered glove up there, there's only 2 cards in Fungus's hand size. So yes, that Clarabelle got bounced to his hand, but Sky can shift plans. I mean, ultimately, Clarabelle is nice, but eventually you get to the point where you're like, well, where I'm going, I don't need Clarabelle. Because as we've talked about, you can go ahead and discard is quite nice. He has been, one of the other reasons I think they've been bouncing that Basil is, when you're down to a low hand size, that discard is absolutely miserable. And it prevents him from questing, it prevents him from that discard ability. So will Sky elect to keep that going on and on for as long as he needs to, or will he go a different route here?
I mean,
we do know there's other options.
Something notable here is the fact that in the battle of attrition, Sky is probably going to win here because he has so much more ink. I mean, let's count it. 5, 10, 12 against 10, 11. I guess not that much more ink, but 13 now.
Now 13.
13 now. Tipo is going to allow him to ink additionally, and just like we saw Fungus in the other games, when he started to pull ahead, start dumping out his hands so that he avoids running into a Clarabelle, right? Sky is doing the exact same strategy. Both of these guys, masters of these decks. What are you saying?
I just keep seeing him put down a card and be like, and I'm like, okay, what are we thinking? So he's counting. So he's trying to say, like, okay, how much do I have left? So he's exerted a total. Okay, so we've got 4 over here. We go.
Okay.
There we go. Clarabelle is back here.
here.
Which makes me believe that he is going to play as much as he can here, to play at least 1 more card. He has 3 ink left, so he is saying, okay, when you have this much ink, it does become a bit of a math problem. So he does have more ink left here on this turn.
Or for the Cinderella? Oh, you're welcome to the Basil, and he clears the board!
That is, and this is one of these reasons that Emerald is such a fun color, because you're able to zig and zag and do all these, for lack of better.
Oh, luckily Fungus, the Mickey hand coming in clutch. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Did you see that? You thought that the Mickey hand was here for show, but it is a practical use. When you accidentally drop your whole deck on your hand, guess what? Mickey's hand is there to show you the way.
When you need a helping hand, Mickey's hand, to save you from having to get through a long, confusing judge call. Lorcana call. Sorry, all right.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
We're getting there. So Fungus will be drawing 2 cards, but it's just desserts because we do have that Clarabelle on the board.
Yeah,
now,
and sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, that means that Fungus is going to have 5 at the next turn. Or did he already draw the 2 cards? Okay. I just made a sound.
No, the 2 cards have not been drawn yet. Sky still has to cut.
Okay.
Speaking of lore guides, I did want to take this moment while Fungus is shuffling, while he's drawing, while he's thinking through the decisions, to thank all of the lore guides that are here this weekend. You know them, you love them. They are at your locals. They are going to the set champs. They are judging over the calls, right? They are lore guiding, I guess, over the calls. So thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you, and we could not run an event without all of the lovely lore guides here. So yeah, just wanted to take that moment, give some flowers where they're due. Please continue with your thoughts, Katie, as the Basil comes down to hit back the Clarabelle into Sky's hand.
Yeah, and we've seen him do this quite. Basil has been putting in a lot. He's been working overtime, quite frankly. But here he is back on the board, and then we see that Donald Duck, Perfect Gentleman, and 2 cards in Fungus's hand. So Sky has been doing a pretty good job staying in this game. As we know, this is game number 4. Sky is on the draw in this match, but he does have more ink. More cards in hands. We see that Clarabelle going back to the hand forever. I'm so fascinated to see.
But the most important resource, Katie, is the lore, and that is where Fungus is ahead, and that is where Sky has to be extraordinarily careful. He must keep putting Fungus's characters in check. Otherwise, Fungus could, if he gets a couple of quests in, start to really get to a lore count, 15, 16, 17, where he will be unstoppable, where it will be inevitable. Sky is going to play Develop Your Brain here first. We always draw first, Katie.
We do, because we want to say, okay, what really are my options? Because nothing's worse than being like, I forgot to draw, that you get the next card, you're like, oh, that would have been way better than that thing I just did. So in this case, Developing Your Brain lets you draw 2 and say, not only do I get to draw, I mean, you get to take 2 cards, put one on the bottom, one on top. He keeps one, puts that on the other one on the bottom. The decks are getting a little thinner and thinner as this game goes on, but still we have plenty left. So now he has 1 more card in his hand here, and we are able to go ahead and let's see. I'm trying to see if
I know. It's so hard to see his hand. We're trying to give you the best play-by-play here, folks. We don't have a hand cam, unfortunately. We do want to see the drama on these 2 competitors' faces, both of them looking extremely locked in and focused right now, as they should be for the grand finals. It is untimed. We are going to crown a champion after this match is done. The game score is Fungus 2, Sky 1. We are on game 4 here. Sky was on the draw. Can he take this game? It is 4 lore to 11 lore. Everything's at stake, Katie.
Yeah, everything's at stake, but as we have seen, Sky is patient here. He's playing a deck that requires patience. He's in a matchup that requires patience. And quite frankly, he's been waiting a long time to get his hand on a Golden Mickey. And he says, I can wait a little bit and work a little bit harder, starting with a Mother Knows Best and saying, what shall I do to just be disruptive here? He has 2 choices, and he picks
Donald Duck. You don't want your opponent drawing back into the correct answer here. And Sky says, you know what's better than a Golden Mickey, Katie?
Golden Donald.
A golden trophy.
Okay,
you were so close.
I know, I thought I was going to get Mickey Mouse.
Where do I get Golden Donalds from, Katie? Where am I getting that?
All right, listen, I've been doing pretty good with his setups.
You've been reading my mind all day, and you
once. We were disoriented.
What? Oh, the bent to my will!
We were disoriented, and we thought it was already played.
I thought that it was this game, but it must have been last game because there's only 1 of them in here. Oh.
Wow. And so Fungus says, so this is what it felt like when I was this like, this is what it felt like when all the cards are, you're like, as long as you don't have ... bend to my will. And Sky said, I do have bend to my will. He's been taking a...
You always got to worry about Clarabelle off the top, though. Sorry to interrupt you, but that is the stakes here. Clarabelle off the top would gain you an additional 2 cards into your hand.
All right, 50-50 discard here. So...
50-50 discard. What do we choose?
Oh.
What is the card?
Is it Tipo? It's Clarabelle.
Clarabelle.
Okay, well, okay. I mean,
a little less consequential here. Ooh, Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, a 6/6. The quest for 3. Katie, that's not. I don't want to say that's the worst card we could have seen. I don't know for sure, but that's one of the worst cards we could have seen because Fungus is now at 13. That Basil was allowed to quest, and now we have 5 lore represented on board, a 2-turn clock, if you will. This Prince Philip is going to gain 1 strength off of this improvise. We'll be able to challenge into this Basil.
Stop the madness of the Basil discard.
Yep.
And so, generally speaking, we like the Philip because you can do that shift. But where Sky is, ink's not really a problem anymore. So he goes out and elects to go ahead. He gets a card off the improvise. He goes ahead and gets rid of the Basil. And now we are in a tempo town where we are going to go ahead and bounce that Philip right back to hand. and it feels pretty good because when you only have one card in hand, that Basil becomes extra devastating. Yes, he has two right now, but ideally he wants to play one of them, and then suddenly he's in danger. He wants to play both because ultimately you do not want to let that Basil discard one of your precious, precious resources.
Yeah, notably Sky, though, is only at 9 lore to 13. He has 5 lore on board. He will get to 14 next turn. If Fungus is able to go a little wide here, play down 2 big cards. I mean, imagine if he was able to get down something like, I don't know, a Basil, bounce something back, as well as, I guess the...
Yeah, we're done with Basil.
Yeah, we don't have 16 ink in the inkwell, unfortunately.
Well, no, I'm just thinking, I'm like, if there was infinite Basils, because we have seen, it's funny because each game it feels like there's a character like, wow, that's a lot of that character. We have seen a lot of Basil, but here we go, where he's saying, I liked what you did with that improvise. That was interesting. So he says, I don't have any of my own characters, so I'll go ahead and give Cindy 1 strength, but I get to draw a card, which is what matters far more to him right now. And so it only costs 1 ink to do that.
And the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes comes back down. Now the effect doesn't trigger. There's no damage on any characters on Sky's side of the board here. But
and
Scott,
1 card in hand. That means that whatever it is, Basil is surely interested in getting that into the discard pile.
Now Sky's gonna draw 1, but the thing is, you need to take out this Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes. We are still on a 3-turn clock. We're at 13. We'd be able to quest up to 19 in 2 turns, but nonetheless, we want to get rid of this Prince Philip, but we don't have the answer. And the Bend of My Will gets stripped straight out of Fungus's hand because of the Basil.
Which, I mean, okay, it's a little less gassy. I gasped and I'm like, okay, he has 1 card, but still, it is something that he could have used as a punish later. So yes, he basically said he's giving Fungus a problem, right? Because he's like, I'm questing. Do you want to do anything about it? You could challenge if you want to, but then he loses that 3. So that 3 is probably, it is the card with the most lore ability, questing ability in the entire
Sky
deck.
putting the 2-turn clock onto Fungus.
Oh, the pressure is on for Fungus now.
I mean, if Fungus is able to play down a card. Oh, that is not a bad card here.
It is not. And the reason is that ward here.
Prince Philip is going to be able to quest for 3 here. We're going up to 16. We're now at a 1-turn clock. And Sky might be at a 2-turn clock, but 1 turn is better. Does he have...
2 malicious meanings here.
Does he have an answer? Does he have an answer for either of these Prince Philips? The one Prince Philip, Royal Explorer, has ward, so he will not be able to target it.
Yeah, and the other one has evasive. So it's something interesting where I'm like, oh, you know, we could go ahead and throw a couple guys in that Prince Philip. So it's kind of a double Philip problem. One has wards you can't target. The other one is a 6/6 that has evasive. So he needs some targeted removal right now. And
Improvise comes down. We're going to be able to draw a card. It doesn't look like Sky has an answer yet. It'll all come down to what card is drawn off of this Improvise. If it's something like Mother Knows Best, we'll be able to turn the clock back a little bit and bounce back the Prince Philip, not with the ward, but the one with the evasive.
All right.
Sky needs an answer or needs the ability to draw into an answer here.
He says, first off, what did you have? Ooh, Visions of the Future is kind of nice because, I mean, that's something, if whatever he's up to over here, it could be. But man, this is the most recent pivotal turn.
A Basil would do it too.
John Silver.
John Silver comes down!
This card is great because this card says, hey, you know how you want to quest, you want to get that 3? You cannot. Now, yeah, you can go ahead and get 2 next turn, but you'd have to quest that Prince Philip, and guess what? Ward does not stop people from challenging you. So he is in a little bit of a pickle here because Sky says, guess what? It is game, set, match for me.
We are on a 1-turn clock here, and unless Fungus is able to somehow draw into 2 cards, and have them be exactly malicious, mean, and scary, and another Prince Philip, this game is done! We're going to game 5!
That is...
I don't know if you can hear it, folks, but the crowd is cheering. People are crowded around these tables.
I'm gonna, you know, I don't know who's gonna win this, but what I do know is that the people watching right now, all of them love these 2 players, and I don't blame them because these players have given so much community and they've given so much to us today by saying, guess what? Not only is Amethyst not in the finals for those people who didn't want to see that, but guess what? We are about to see a new champion, and they played their hearts out. We have seen 4 games of what I would consider peak level of Disney Lorcana.
A moment of silence. Just
yeah, right. Like but honestly, fair. We have been running in place this whole time, and so I just I'd like to note that now we are about to see what I would call the most important shuffle of your life. Whenever I am playing in like a set championship, people say, how long do you shuffle for? And I say, I shuffle till it feels right. I shuffle to the point where I go, it's good now, I think. And then I try to not shuffle too far because I'm like, what if I broke it? What if I shuffle too...
Superstitious, I know.
Yeah.
And then you're always like, oh no, did I shuffle one more? This is what is on the line here, folks. Take a look at this golden trophy. Not a golden Donald, the next best thing.
All right, we're not talking about, maybe that's the next, after the 500 Mickeys are gone.
Right,
Donald,
the next is the 500 Donalds, we'll see. This golden trophy, the Richmond Disney Lorcana champion will be crowned tonight. This is exactly what we both wanted. It's going to be Fungus on the play, Sky on the draw here. And you might be saying, well, it's a mirror match. Obviously, it's going to be tough. But Fungus just showed it's doable. He took 2 games in a row on the draw. Can Sky do the same?
I mean, what we have seen is we've seen 4 games, and in 3 of the 4, the person on the draw won. So that means, like, statistically speaking, on the draw is great. You want to be on the, don't be on the play. So, I mean, this has been fantastic. I don't want it to end because this has been so much fun, right? This has been one of the best 48 hours of my life, and for these 2 players, this has been some of the best playing of their careers. Brent, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling like a fan of the drama, a fan of the story, a fan of everything that this DLC has been about, which is players playing their hearts out, having some fun. How are you feeling, Katie? I was on the floor earlier. I mean, both days, the energy in here was palpable. You could feel it. People were having fun. There were children getting autographs. There were grown adults getting autographs from some of these players, from some of these lore guides, from some of us casters. I mean, I've been having a blast joining you all here in the booth. Katie, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling, like I said, a little bittersweet, right? Because, I mean, this is one of those things where it is the end of a very, very exciting story. Like you said, I mean, everybody out there had a different weekend. I would say Sky and Fungus are having some of the best weekend of all of us. But I don't know. I think maybe me and you are having even better than them because a dream came true for us. So it's just all these dreams come true where people are meeting people they haven't seen in months or years. We're seeing people get to play. We're seeing people get to collect. We're seeing just all these smiles. So my biggest thing is just seeing people have fun, and we are all having fun watching this match. What about you? What are you feeling? I mean, I just asked you. We'll just keep asking forever.
You know what my highlight of the weekend is?
I would love to know.
My wife played
yes
yesterday for the first time ever, went all 8 rounds, was going for the Mulan, finished unfortunately at a 2-6. Right at the end, was not able to pull it out, fought all the way to the very end, but she said she had such a fun time. 6 of her opponents were women also, which is so great. In a TCG space, how often do you hear that? How often do you look at numbers like that, right? So that a lot to be happy about. I think it speaks to the community. I think it speaks to the game. I think it speaks to the love and the magic that Disney Lorcana brings to people. And I mean, she told me that one of the children she was playing against saw one of the Lorcana celebrities and said, oh my gosh, you know him? And she called him over, and the guy came over, the kid was over the moon, and one of the lore guides was pleasant enough to say, oh no, I'll give you the round extension. Please take your time, have this little moment. I mean, it brings, I'm tearing up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's these moments where, as we're going to be walking out of this place in the next, 3 to 50 minutes, depending on how this match goes, we're going to see...
in the next 19 hours, when this Sapphire matchup, the mirror match ends, right?
As we watch out, we're going to see some booster pack wrappers, we're going to see some sleeves on the ground, and we're going to remember this past 48 hours of magic, and the magic is about to even intensify. We are starting fast and furious, inking Lichtenstein and Sari, getting a Clarabelle off to the races.
That fist bump really signifying and representing everything that these 2 players stand for, everything that Disney Lorcana stands for, which is a vibe of fun and sportsmanship. I wish luck to both of these players. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea like I am vying for one or another. I was vying for a Game 5. That is what we have here. Folks, I have the biggest...
It's recorded and we believe you.
I have the biggest grin on my face right now, Katie. I have all the energy in the world. It's been a grueling 2 days for the players, for everybody working. Thank you to everybody working. Develop Your Brain comes down. We're going to dig too deep. Sky makes his choice, and we're going to see if Sky has what it takes to make the comeback, or if Fungus was inevitable from the beginning. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, there's beats to this game. The first is the altering, where you're like, okay, how did that go? There's the ramp. In this case, he was able to play sail and find or develop your brain on the same turn, which feels nice to be able to use your full 3 ink. But now it becomes, okay, the beat, the ramp, and we didn't play anything on turn 1, or we played develop. We did no characters on Sky side, but now I believe he has a Tipo in hand. I don't know if he has sail, but he should be able to hit this ramp on 2. And then the next is, are you going to double ramp? So here we go. He's got it.
Tipo
We're safe.
down.
We're taking
a little less consequential when you are the one on the draw. I would say that would probably be a little more off-putting if you had to be on the play. You didn't get to draw a card and replace itself. Sky not in a bad position at all. Let's see what he chooses to ink here. Looks like it's a bit of a decision, and Sky is going to take his time. He's earned it.
He has. I mean, for a moment, looking recap, I mean, Sky lost the first 2 games on the play. That doesn't feel good. I talked about being tilted and not letting things tilt you. And he said, no, I will play for the 3rd time on the play. And then he won. He won it. And now, I mean, we're looking at this game 4 here. And it's so exciting because this shows that these players are in it. They're not going to let anything fog them. And so here we go. We've seen Sky do this several times, but now I'm like, is this the thing you do, I guess? And that is play that Donald Duck.
I guess this is the optimal play line.
Statistically speaking, it turned out this is what you're supposed to do. It's the Donald Duck, and I'm sure everyone is saying, yeah, because of, and like by this point, we think we figured out that you go ahead, you get more cards.
If y'all are taking Emerald Sapphire to your set champs, then please watch this match over, and remember, when you're on the play, Donald Duck first, Cinderella second.
Yeah, and I can't wait to find out why, because honestly, we saw it once, we're like, okay. Twice, we're like, okay. I'm like, all right, are we doing this every game?
I didn't see. Does Fungus have the Cinderella Dream Come True in his hand?
That's true. It is something that you can play if you don't.
Oh, okay. I thought
right?
that you saw it.
No, it'd be so funny. But I mean, it is funny that we've seen it. You know, it's if I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd have for 3 nickels. But it's weird to happen 3 times. But here we go. Looking at Sky's hand, we have that Prince Philip combo piece. But sometimes if you don't have the rest of it, you're going towards the Clarabelle. It's just not necessary to keep. However, I also see a You're Welcome, and then 4 other cards I can't see.
4 other cards I can't see either.
Fungus is not even playing this game of letting us maybe see the hand. He says, I put Mickey in. And honestly, thank goodness, because he saved us from just a terribly long lore guide call. He said, thank goodness. But here we go. Prince Philip, Vanquisher of Foes, into the Inkwell.
Yeah, that is not a card that you want to ink this early on. It's a little unfortunate that Sky drew into it, but maybe inconsequential here. Isn't the end of the world. We're going to go ahead and, I assume, play this Cinderella. I do see the Cinderella, her arms outreached. What gorgeous artwork, am I right? Dreams come true. Whatever you wish for, her ability will allow Sky to additionally ramp this turn and then replace the card that he ramps with. But a decision, because you know that not only are you playing a card from hand, but you also are trying to plan, then I will have to ink one of the cards in my hand. And sometimes when you're looking at, you know, 3 of your best cards that you want to keep, you don't want to play the Cinderella, but sometimes it's inevitable.
And it kind of feels like I mentioned earlier, like you're exchanging it, because you're inking it, so you're taking a card that, okay, all right, so this is Cinderella, dreams will come true, but maybe a little bit later. And we have learned from watching this that Sky he's a patient player here. So he's going to go ahead, play 2 Clarabelles, which makes me believe we're going for the Clarabelle line, because you can get rid of 1 card, but getting rid of 2, we've seen it happen. But it's harder. It's much harder to get rid of.
It is harder. Something like hard casting a Mother Knows Best and then Donald Duck singing a Mother Knows Best or You're Welcome into the hand would be it. Clarabelle, Fungus will strike first on the Clarabelle, Starabelle, which is what I think we are about to see here.
Patent pending, but yes, I mean, and so here we go. He is saying, do I want to go ahead and quest with this Donald? As we mentioned, Donald sometimes is what you will depend on if you can't get Clarabelle online, but Clarabelle is online, which makes him a little bit less of a must-have and a nice-to-have. But that being said, I mean, he still stands on his own duck-built feet. So now he's just deciding, is there anything else I want to go ahead and do a quest, or do I want to just keep everything safe? Play it safe.
Every single decision matters. That's why we're seeing the hesitation here. We are going to sing, I'm assuming You're Welcome. You're welcome onto one of the Clarabelles here.
Yeah.
And I guess Fungus is saying, I want to take away one of your Clarabelles. Maybe this other Donald is going to sing exactly what
we're going to sing, I challenge Tipo.
No, we'll challenge Tipo instead.
He says, I actually challenge people with a bigger dice. So right now, Sky is finishing resolving that You're Welcome. As you guys know, this was where you shuffle the card back in the deck. Then after you shuffle, your opponent can go ahead and do what they want there, and then you can draw 2 cards. So it's kind of interesting because we've seen this in the first match where basically you're saying, ooh, okay, we see
Fungus is about to load his hand up. And very smart to take out that Tipo, because if you don't, when you shift your Clarabelle, you'll be able to make that trade. You will have to go in with your Clarabelle, but your Clarabelle would survive, and the Tipo would get banished, but you would be able to banish the other Clarabelle. With Donald Duck taking out that Tipo, we don't have that line anymore, and now Sky is in a bit of a pickle.
He is in a bit of a pickle, but he is a pickle that he has some tools to get out of. I'm 94% sure I see a bend in my will. So he can play like he doesn't have it and say, Fungus, get greedy. Go ahead, give in. And say, do all the things you want to
Give in.
Yes, and say,
Wringing his hands, yes.
So we don't know 100%. One of these things that's kind of tricky is, we see, one of the things I say, I can identify most cards by only 10% of the card, but it is still very hard. But man, all right. But here we go. He is deciding what he wants to think, because this is, like we said, that's Future Sky's problem. We're talking about this turn Sky.
Oh my gosh, is that a Prince, Philip Vanquisher of Foes? Another one going into the Inkwell here would mean that Sky only has 2 left to pull off the combo later on. I think Sky is hurting for some ink here. The Clarabelle shift is coming. The You're Welcome is coming onto the Clarabelle. The You're Welcome and the Clarabelle that survives is Sky's. He will take the lead here. Fungus will be able to draw 2 cards, but now, just like we saw a turn earlier, deja vu, Sky is saying, go ahead and draw those 2 cards. They aren't your hand, it's my hand now, because I get to draw up until I have the same amount of cards that you have.
Sky would never say that. He'd say it's our hand. And he'd say it with a smile. Did you see that? Look at that. So that this is a friendly game of. But yes, no. To your point, I mean, I think it is very funny. The flavor on You're Welcome is the sarcastic. I'm like, all right, buddy. So yeah, this is so fascinating that both players. They've been doing these very flashy moves, and it kind of feels like one player is like this, and the other one's like this, and then it's like one's like, I can't do it, and like then I win. So here we go. So I mean, we had Fungus try it out first. Sky said, I like it, I'll try it out. But now we have 2 control players with an ample hand size, and the reason I say ample so dramatically is because. There's so many things that can happen in this control style deck once your hand starts getting bigger and bigger. Now, I am fascinated because next turn we will be able to see Sky go ahead and ink twice if he so chooses. As we know, this deck is known to ramp not once, definitely twice, but sometimes thrice or fourths. So we'll see. I mean, this game is far from over. We are at 1-1.
I am going to call it right now. I think the winner of this game is the one that gets to bend to my will first. I don't think I saw it in Fungus's hand, but he did draw a sizable amount of cards here. I am going to say this, and listen up, everybody.
I'm listening.
At home.
Oh, them too. Okay.
I am dropping my voice, not just because it will add to the drama, but because we don't want, the players are just right over there. We don't want to spoil anything for the players or give the players any free advice here. You're Welcome is gonna hit the Clarabelle, and now, well, okay. The good news is Fungus does not have a Clarabelle, so he's not going to be able to draw an obscene amount of cards. Sky will have an obscene amount of cards, but
he is 1 turn away from
doing the bend to my will.
Yeah, I mean,
if he has it. If he has it is the question.
And so the deck lists are 60 cards. I mean, you have to have 60 or more cards. But I note that because when you have that many cards, you're looking for one. It feels like sometimes you have days where you see it every single game. You're like, that's so crazy that I always had it. And then there's times where you never see it. So like you said, I mean, it is a game. Who has it? Who can play it? Because it is expensive. I will say Fungus is ahead on. We've been talking about the 3 battles: the battle of the characters on the board, the battle of the lore count, and the battle of the ink and the hand size. There's 4. And so in this case, he's not ahead on the lore count, but everywhere else he's doing pretty good. He does only have 6 ink, but just 1 simple ink and 1 card could mean that everything this guy's worked towards has been pretty frustrating. So he might be very, very tempted to empty his board, but then that also plays into the Malicious Fiend and Scary combo.
Absolutely.
What is he trying to play around here, and how does he do it in a way where he can come back?
You can't play around everything, Katie.
No.
At a certain point, you got to make a decision, and that decision is only going to be harder because you have a quarter of your deck in your hand here. Sky with a lot of choices, maybe spoiled for choice here. I can't see what's in the hand of Sky anymore, but we do know that he has that bend to my will, which is going to be a critical card. Fungus, if he has it, we'll be able to play it next turn. Sky is still 2 turns away, so this is going to be a critical turn. If Fungus has it and he's able to ink, get to 7 and bend to my will, put what, potentially 12 cards into Sky's discard? That would be brutal, and maybe it would be an unwinnable position. By the same token, if Fungus doesn't have it, Sky already has it, so he's 2 turns away from doing the same thing to Fungus, establishing a bigger board, using all of the huge amount of cards in his hand to come back into this. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I'm speechless. I'll be honest, because it really is. I mean, this is game 5. So we've kind of talked through all the permutations of this matrix several times. So Sky knows that I need to get to this ever important lore total, because at the end of the day, we've said it every game, make him have it. Now, we've seen both players not have it and have it. It's been stunning the ways that we have seen it. There's been times where, like, all he needs is exactly that. And all he needs in this case, he's saying, I have to play what's most statistically likely. And of the 2 things that could happen, Prince Philip, Malicious Mean and Scary combo is more likely than Bend to My Will. But one is far more devastating. So in this case, he says, I'm just going to go ahead and try to use as much resources as I can. I'm going to build a modest board. I'm going to ink a lot. He went ahead. I think he's inking thrice this turn. We had to sail the inking for turn, and at the end, he can ink with that Cinderella. So he is saying, okay, just in case, I'm going to use all these cards as much as I can right now. Because notably, Fungus can't do both. He can't pull off a Bend to My Will and Malicious Mean and Scary on the same turn, but he can in the same game. So Sky is saying, what is most likely? What is the most likely for me? What is the best for me? And how do I ensure that next turn I can, you know...
I can take all the cards out of your hand.
He just did the smile of, please. So.
Please, Fungus. Look at his face. One of the most stern poker faces I've ever seen. I don't know if he has it ever. I don't know what he draws. As soon as he draws a card, okay, a 7th ink comes down. If it's the Bend to My Will, this game could be over. Does he have
We've turning into, okay.
Oh, no. 7 is coming down, and it's the Clarabelle. It's the Clarabelle, Katie. Oh, but that's not good news either, because Fungus is going to be able to draw all of these cards. However, the good news is we will.
I think now we're getting so excited we've turned into public radio.
No. But again, right? The crowd has died down a little bit.
I know.
Hey, the players are right over there. If we keep talking about things that are in the players' hands, but we can get excited about this Clarabelle here. Look at this. Fungus is going to draw all of these cards. He doesn't know that he's about to have to put all of them into his discard pile. Katie,
make them have it.
But if Sky, in his infinite amount of cards, does not have a way to deal with that Clarabelle, it will all be for naught, because at the end of Fungus's turn, he'll be able to draw all those cards back. So, not only do you need a way to deal with the Clarabelle, you need a way to... You have the Bend to My Will. Not only do you have that, you would need to take care of that Clarabelle as well and hope that Fungus doesn't top deck one.
I would quite frankly love to have a little song with the Cinderella. She's a great singer. Maybe Mother Knows Best. She doesn't really have a great relationship with her stepmother, but maybe she believes that some mother knows best. Or maybe You're Welcome. So Sky has a lot of cards. Sequencing is incredibly important here, because if he is going to use that card, like you said, he has to be... He has a couple options, right? It's kind of tricky because he wants to... Okay, so we're going to go ahead and ink. But basically, like we said, we want to, like you said, make the best play while not punishing yourself here. And in this case...
We can take this Clarabelle off the field and then Bend to My Will. He's playing it. He's playing the You're Welcome. The You're Welcome is played. The Clarabelle will be shuffled back into the deck. Fungus will draw 2 fresh cards. But you and I both know it's for naught, because he's counting out 7 ink.
He started exerting. He's like, wait. Take a deep breath.
Hold on. Wait for him to draw the cards and then show him the bad news. Let's see what it is. And if he discards, if Fungus has Bend to My Will in his hand and it gets discarded, it's the only one in his deck. Bend to My Will! I was trying to do the Baker thing, but...
I bend to my will. I don't know. It's not a song. I don't know how to tell you guys.
Yeah, not a real song. That's why it's an action. You can hear the cheers from the crowd.
And look...
Bend to My Will got put into the discard. This is a dangerous position for Fungus. He is ahead on the board here, but now Sky with a full grip of cards. Fungus is down to, can he top deck a Clarabelle light on her hooves to come back into this game, or can he find some way to find 2 cards next turn to be able to pull off the Malicious Mean and Scary combo?
I'm pretty sure he... Who went first this game? Was it...
It was Fungus. Fungus was on the play.
Okay, because I know one of them inked. a malicious means, oh gosh, this is like,
And
sorry.
we get 2 cards with the Donald Duck, so it's not out of the realm of possibility here that he would be able to draw.
Yeah, so I mean, he's not out of it, and that's what we've seen. That this deck is what I would call extraordinarily good at zigging and zagging and getting out of those tight corners. But Sky has said, I know what it's like to feel on my back foot. So, you know, it's not helpless, but he has 2 cards in hand. And he only had, not only, my goodness, what kind of game is it where we're like, you only have 7 ink, but he only has 7 ink. Look what Sky has, and here we go.
Basil, not a bad card. He will be able to bounce that Cinderella back.
But did he ink to Prince Philip? Or no, did he ink that Prince Philip? So now he only has 0 cards in hand?
That's correct.
Wow.
He has 0 cards in hand, so Sky is only at 1. It is notable to say that Fungus is at 7. He has 8 lore on board now, 6 lore that he can quest with, and I think he's doing the right thing here. He's saying, you go ahead and chase me if you want to. 6 lore, climbing up to an important count of, I believe, 13 lore. Fungus is getting close, and Sky needs a way to deal with everything. He's only at 5, 9 ink. He's still a few turns away from being able to pull off the malicious, mean, and scary Prince Philip combo. So it's going to be a couple of turns here that are scary, where Fungus can still come back. If he finds a Clarabelle light on her hooves, this game is not over. And this is probably why these players were saying Emerald Sapphire is the best deck. It's because you're never out of it.
You aren't. And I would like to point out, a few times we're like, Donald Duck, is he that good? Look how much Donald has done for Fungus. Donald, look, shout out to the Golden Donalds out there. Because this Donald has been out there just making sure that Fungus is getting a little bit more than he can each turn. So, I mean, going this wide, I mean, Basil, yes, he bounced the Cindy back to hand, but Sky's at 1 lore. Fungus at 13. I mean, Sky has done some stunning things here. But like we said, it's not over. He is able to go ahead and challenge with, ooh.
And we're going to play the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes. Sky only had 2 left in his deck. This is the 3rd. So now the Clarabelle is going to come down also. Can Fungus top deck the Clarabelle light on her hooves and put himself back into this game? That is the question. Any other card might be okay, but it would only be okay. Let's see what Fungus has. It's a T-Bow. That's not what you want to see. Oh, no, indeed. Katie, oh, no, if you are Fungus, that is not what you want.
I've heard you said many times, I hope it's not a T-Bow, but here we go. We're going to roll the dice for some randomization. He has 7 cards, so generally you kind of go ahead and roll, but he's just going to shuffle and then pick at random. There's basically, it's up to your opponent when you say random, so sometimes people roll. In this case, we're going to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we hit.
If it's removal, any form of removal or any form of stalling, like Mother Knows Best, it's good. Donald Duck is not a bad thing to hit here for Sky. We are getting up to 17 lore, though, and it is getting scary for Sky. Will Sky be able to come all the way back up to 20 and keep Fungus off of 3 lore? That's all that is keeping Fungus from being crowned the Richmond Disney Lorcana champion. We could not have asked for a better finals match. Katie, how are you feeling?
Sometimes he's looked over and I'm speechless, because it's just my thinking through this. To imagine that these players have had to think like me and Brent have been thinking for the past like 48 hours and also 3 months leading up to this. I mean, that is so much, because this
commendable.
It is commendable. And commendable indeed, because I mean, you constantly are saying, what do I do? What do I do here? That Prince Philip, he does have ward. That being said, ward does not mean you cannot challenge. That Basil has a sizable 5-4, but even that Tifo is saying, oh, I can help. We noticed that, we noted that there has been 3 Prince and Philip sighted on Sky's side. 2 went to the ink while 1 was just played. So the malicious, mean, and scary combo that's been so important gets a little harder and harder to pull off each turn.
I see the flash of a Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes, the 4th one in Sky's deck, in his hand. I believe I did, which means that Sky has a few different options for a board clear here. That Clarabelle, for instance, could challenge into that Basil and take it out. When the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes comes down, we could challenge in with the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes already on board into the other Prince Philip on Prince Philip.
That you hate to see it. Bigger Prince Philip beating up on his smaller counterpart. And here we go. We're starting the party.
Clarabelle's going to be inked. I believe this Clarabelle Clumsy Guest going to be challenged. It is the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes, and now the race is on. Tipo is going to be able to bring Fungus to 18 next turn, unless Sky has some way to prevent it. I mean, getting from 1 to 20 is a tall order here, but it helps when you have, it really, really helps when you have, ooh.
Tipo, Vanquisher Foes. No, I mean, what do we see? I mean, is he playing that second Prince Villa? I mean, wait, did he exert it? Because one thing I would like to note is you can shift again on top of Prince Philip because the effect takes place. Now, it is a cheaper alternative to playing. I don't know how much ink, if he just, or wait, let's see. Did he play anything else this turn?
I'm wondering what Sky is thinking through. He challenged in with that Clarabelle. He inked the other Clarabelle pretty quickly here. It feels like it's all set up for this combo. You can't leave that Basil out. Maybe he was considering shifting it on to the already there Prince Philip, but we'll see.
All right, Clarabelle, if you are planning to show
Sky's
up.
hands are shaking a little bit. Visions of the future, that's not what you want to see. But I will say, Fungus only has a limited amount of ink. He hasn't been able to ink for a few turns now since the Bend to My Will. Only 6 ink there.
Yeah, and
only will get 1 card.
All the best things in his deck are pretty expensive. So in this case, he can go ahead and...
John Silver is probably your best answer because it'll keep one of the Prince Philips from being able to quest. Because right now, the mission is for Sky, get from 1 to 20 before Fungus can get from 17 to 20. So 19 lore versus 3 lore. We're going to go
to a second Visions of the Future. And I'd like to note here that, I mean, Tipo, people, like, obviously you're like, okay, well, I quest with that Tipo, get the lore while I can. But there's also that thing where, I mean, now we know the Malicious Mean and Scary combo is off the table, but we do know you can just play Malicious Mean and Scary. So
Fungus took that card pretty quickly.
Was it a third vision?
It's a third vision. It's visions into visions into visions.
And now he only has 2 ink left.
Now he only has 2 ink left, but it doesn't really matter because Tipo will be able to quest up to 18. Sky does have 7 lore on board, and that is formidable. But not when you got to get from 1 to 20.
I see Mother's Knows Best in there, but I also, there's 4 other cards. And he's probably at this point saying, well, I'm not doing it this turn. I don't have anything cool I can do for 2 ink except maybe more visions. But here we go. Instead, oh my goodness,
what is he
is that a
looking
Tipo?
for? It is another Tipo, but what are you, if you're Fungus, what are you looking for? I would assume that you want to put bodies onto the board and force Sky to have the answer for them. But now with all of this, develop your brain, visions of the future. I mean, maybe, just maybe. I mean, Fungus was looking for the Prince Philip and hoping that he could vanquish the already damaged Prince Philip on Sky's board, but I don't know. Katie, can you think of anything we're looking for here?
I mean, in theory, if he has 1 card in hand, so if he had found one of the 2 combo pieces, he could be saying, and just you wait, I shall get both of those combo pieces. Now, we have to talk about ink. Tipo cannot sing. There's been, well, most of the cards in this deck.
You won't be able to sing, because Malicious Mean and Scary, you have to sing for 3.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where Tipo can do a lot, man. He is doing a lot. He is questing for 1. He is trying his hardest. Here we go. We've got that improvise, making the Clarabelle suddenly be able to engage in some challenging and go ahead and draw another card for Sky. Sky is not, he is, he's ahead in ink and board presence in hand, but he is far behind in lore. So there's nothing that can go ahead and take Fungus's lore, so he has to control Fungus with no slip-ups. No, he has
I realized, I can't believe it took me this long. What Fungus was looking for. Prince Philip Royal Explorer.
Because it's got Ward. If he gets him on the board, he can just put it out there.
Absolutely. That's if Sky isn't able. I mean, look at the amount Sky has in ink. Sky potentially has the ability to go wide enough to present lethal on board here. We already have 7 on board here. We'd get to 8. If Sky can put another 5 lore onto the board, he'd be the one presenting lethal, and this game is probably over because that Tipo would only be able to quest for 1. Even if we got the Prince Philip out, you would be saying to Fungus, well, go ahead. Get that Prince Philip out. I already have lethal on board here. I already have game on board. It will be my time. This is the critical decision. This is the decisive turn. Katie, I am on pins and needles trying to figure out what is going through Sky's mind and what is in his hand. He plays the card so close to the vest. I can't see him.
I mean, now we're doing the thing that players do where they're like, I have got to see what's in your discard. Because we both know that Bend to My Will is gone. If he doesn't know 100%, if he wasn't paying super attention, or he's like us who's kind of got a little bit of a blue-green vertigo right now, he might not 100% remember the Prince Philip Tour inked, but I'm pretty sure he do remember such things. So Sky is saying, all right, you are correct. There are one problem that could be very problematic.
Okay, that's 2 lore on board.
But that lets...
That's 2 lore on board. If he can present another 4 on board, or I'm sorry, another 3 on board, then he will be presenting game on board.
Oh.
Basil is going to bounce back the Tipo. That's going to matter a little bit here, but we are... Okay, so let's yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things I'm thinking about here is that, I mean, playing that Donald Duck is interesting because, I mean, we saw how hard Fungus spent the entire turn just looking for stuff. He's like, I'm looking for stuff. So knowing that once, I mean, Fungus will have a normal draw on his next turn. He has 1 card in hand. He has a draw. But then if that Donald is still up and doing things once we pass back to Sky, then he will get to draw 2 cards. So that is a little interesting and scary because, like we said, I mean, that Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes. Now, that being said, you've mentioned this a couple times. 2 Malicious Meanings carries.
Yep, would do it.
Yeah.
Trick.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where we don't 100% know what Sky has. His hand size has been getting smaller and smaller every turn. Fungus has
For all we know, the 2 cards in his hand are Malicious Meaning Scare, and he's playing around it. But he does not have it. He doesn't have the Prince Philip Royal Explorer. We only have 3 cards out here. If Sky can answer 2 of them.
I mean, that is a lot. That's just, but can I mean, okay.
But can he? That's a tough one. That's still a tall order.
Because, I mean, we're talking about things we need to get these cards exerted. I mean, we've seen that all day with Amethyst, but getting things exerted is a little bit trickier here in this combination. So suddenly we are back on we're talking about Basil, Undercover Detective, which we just saw played. We're talking about Mother Knows Best. We're talking about You're Welcome, which is not exciting in this matchup because of the...
It all comes down to this. It all comes down to this. Can Sky remove 2 characters off of Fungus's side of the board because he is just shy? If Sky were to quest everything out right now, I believe if my math is correct, 4, 10, 11, he would only get to 19. He wasn't able to put out 15 lore onto, or wasn't able to put out 12 lore onto the board last turn. Like I was saying, he needed 5 more lore.
What if he shifts his Clarabelle?
Oh, what if, I forgot all about it.
But so he's kind of seeing, can I get... Now, I mean, he doesn't seem to have it in those 2 cards. He doesn't seem to have card drawn.
He inked a few Clarabelles earlier, too. Maybe he's regretting that decision. He's shaking his head. He inked one of the You're Welcomes last turn also, which would have been able to take one of the characters off the board or allow him to dig deeper for 2. Sky is...
It might be game.
It might be game. Let's see, one way or the other. Sky is starting to emote, which usually means that the game is over one way or the other. Let's see what happens.
Sky's face has woken up, and
I see a Mother Knows Best in hand.
We are wiggly, guys. I cannot express to you how wiggly we are, because that's half. We said.
I can't speak too loudly. The players are right there. Mother Knows Best.
Pieces. Number
Taking
1.
away the Cinderella.
Check. Uh-oh.
Oh no!
The 2 T-pose win?
Is this gonna be it? Is it 2 T-pose growing sun for the win? Is that what's gonna happen right now? That we are going to crown the Richmond champion off of 2 T-pose? He can't take it off the board! And now Fungus is your Richmond champion!
I am speechless. I mean, we literally said, what if it's Tipo? What if it's Tipo? And he said, what if Tipo wins this whole thing?
We were joking about
it. It was a joke,
it
Fungus.
Look at Fungus. Everybody right now, take a look. One nice look at your Disney Lorcana Richmond champion here in Virginia in the year of 2026. Anything can happen. 2 T-pose can win the entire challenge.
I shout out to both these players. They have played their hearts out. They went to game 5. They played. I have never gone, oh my, so many times, because there were so many moments that I didn't expect. Both these players said, this is the best deck in format. It is the best deck in this DLC tournament. And of the best deck, Fungus said, today it is my best deck.
Please give it up also for Sky, your runner-up of Richmond DLC. Oh,
I would like to point out, so I mean, Sky was the first person to get a Continental, a CCQ invite from the
Right.
CCQ program.
the
So, I
North
mean,
American Championships, he will be going to either way.
But this was a big day because he has been fighting for a Golden Mickey since the start. I mean, he went to Atlanta. He was at DLC Atlanta all those months ago, and he has wanted one ever since. He even went to Nationals. He qualified for Nationals, didn't have a Mickey, but today he got his Mickey. So shout out to Sky for playing your heart out. But then he met somebody, a peer that was Fungus, and we just saw him lay his heart out.
Let me tell you, the smile on Sky's face looked like he might have just maybe lost a set champs or something. I mean, the sportsmanship of these two players.
It was incredible.
It was absolutely incredible.
It's what you love to see. I mean, this is Disney Lorcana at its finest. The finest players, the finest decks, the finest sportsmanship, and the finest fans, because the audience was just so electric out there.
Katie, what do you think about the weekend? How do you feel about it?
I don't want to be over. We're going to Game 6. No, it was an honor. This is the greatest honor I can have as a player of Disney Lorcana, a fan of Disney Lorcana, sitting next to you, sitting next to the other casters, seeing these players, being in the same room as them. It is the greatest honor. I mean, we're going to cut over to the awards ceremony, but before we do,
I do want to say one thing. If you are watching right now and you are not here, I am sorry that you could not be here. I hope that you are able to attend a DLC in the future. We have many more coming up, I'm sure, in future seasons. We do have Indianapolis coming up as well. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. This has been a total blast, and I appreciate you all allowing me into your homes, allowing Katie into your homes, the entire casting crew. Everybody here is thankful for you.
yes, this has been an honor and such a privilege to observe this, and I don't want the night to end. It's quite frankly, I don't want the clock to strike midnight, but Cinderella came, and she was the belle of the ball, and Fungus was her champion here.
And now it's time for the chariot to turn back into a pumpkin, but before we do, we are going to throw it over to our champions. We are going to throw it over to Rebecca and Baker, but one more thing I do want to add to this is as a first-time DLC caster, it has been a pleasure. It has been an honor. I watched you in Milwaukee. I've been watching you across all of the different third-party tournaments that you've done, and I couldn't think of anybody I would rather be sitting here with, Katie. This was such an emotional match. It was such a thrilling match. It hit all the beats of every story you'd ever want to watch. What a show.
It's so much. It's just, this is, oh no, I got a Liam. I almost teared up a little bit, but this is the magic. Every time is the best, and my goodness, I cannot wait to see. I'm probably going to tear up on the thing. It's a silent material. It's not falling, but my goodness, Brent, an honor to do all of this. Everybody watching, I cannot wait to see set champs reports from now on out being like, and here is the only deck in the format. It's just, this is it. This is the magic. We're watching it be made. It's such an honor that you're on the team. I cannot wait to be in the booth with you again. It is just the highlight, and it was so great to be joined by Zebek, to Baker and Rebecca and Liam, who are just like the giants that I absorb.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, I mean, we are going to see them in just a few moments, and they are amazing. They are setting up for their little celebration. How hard was it not to try to get your hands on that statue because it was behind us?
I kept wanting to
like,
go.
What if they're fingerprint me? And they're like, I know you touched it. I'm like, okay, I did. You got me. You got me. I touched it.
It looks incredible. I wish that you all could see it in person. It has been hanging out with us in the lounge this entire weekend.
Now it is going to Fungus's home. The home of Fungus shall forever have this trophy.
Congratulations one more time, both Fungus and Sky. But sadly, that is the end for Katie and I. We are throwing it over.
Well, what a weekend it has been, Illumineers. What a finals. We went all the way to Game 5. How is that? How is that match? Doing good? Yes. We love a Game 5. We love it. No, Tipo. Oh, man.
The star of the show is clearly the growing sun.
Yes.
But let's put Tipo aside for a second because we need to appreciate these Illumineers. So please join me, go absolutely mental for second place at the Disney Lorcana Challenge here in Richmond, Virginia. Make some noise for Skylar Dance! Come here, buddy. Yes, mate.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Sky. How are you feeling right now?
A little sad I made some mistakes, but I'm still very happy with the performance.
Fantastic.
Sky, if you were going to give a piece of advice to anyone watching at home that would like to be in your position someday, what would that be?
Grind as many games as you can and have fun. That's all I got.
Play Tipo. No.
No, play Tipo.
Think about your plays, but take a little bit of time on the last turn, a little bit more, and you're good.
Absolutely fantastic. One more time, give it up for Skylar Dance!
Before we let you go, though, I do want to give you the opportunity. Is there anyone that you want to shout out? I know you have some great support here, so this is your moment to say thank you to the community.
Yeah, shout out to my team, shout out to my family, shout out to Katie, shout out to the casters, everybody. It was you can't do it with we can't do it without any of those people, so it was awesome.
One more time for Skylar!
Congratulations! Go ahead. We're gonna have you go
Take a step
this
over
way.
there, buddy.
Yeah. All right, and now we are here. This is what it all came down to. 2,000 players, a 5-game final, 2 Tipos, and your champion, James Gray! James, what a finals. You were up 2-0, and then you took Sky took 2 away from you. How were you feeling going into that game 5?
Fried. I played 3 days of Lorcana with a really complicated deck, and yeah, my brain was going. So, lots of misplays.
Well, your brain did it enough to get that win, so congratulations to you.
You are now a Disney Lorcana Challenge champion, and you are going to the World Championships. How do you feel? Yeah, yes, let's hear it. You're going to the World Championships. How does that feel right now?
It's unreal. I came in just like, hey, I want to get a Continentals. I want to make day 2, minor goals, and just kept moving along. So, really excited.
And one last thought from you on this deck. It was the 3rd highest, I think, in the room this weekend. That Emerald Sapphire deck, it's a deck that you are known for playing. And I think you made the right choice here. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I think the reps paid off. I want to say, no disrespect to anybody, I think I have more reps on this blue-green deck than anyone else in the world, and I'm glad it paid off. Lots of wasted time playing blue-green.
Well, I wouldn't say it's wasted because you got this here, sir. And lastly, please give any shout-outs that you have to the community.
Yeah, shout out to my wife for driving to Richmond with me, first off. Really helped being supportive. Shout out to all the blue-green folks in the 20 Lore Discord, JP, Pandemonium, all the folks from the loungers, in the blue-green that were there to put the reps in and things. Jeremy, too, got lots of good conversations with him about blue-green. We disagree on some things, but it's all good thought processes, right? You don't need Under the Sea to win with blue-green. Sky and I both showed you that, so.
Congratulations again. Before we let you all go, we want to invite the broadcast team up here. Give it a hand. Liam, Katie, Zebex, and Brent. We are so happy that you all could join us here in Richmond. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you to all the Illumineers who are watching online. A shout out, let's give it up for our lore guides this weekend. Thank you. Thank you so much, and of course, everyone who made this event possible. We are so thankful for the magical experience you create for us. So let's give it up one last time for your champion, James Gray, and we'll see you all in Ghent.